of the Russian government harassing U.S. citizens, which is why we continue to have a level 4 travel warning and encourage all U.S. citizens not to travel to Russia for any reason.
An editor for U.S.-funded Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, who lives in Prague and holds U.S. and Russian passports, was reportedly arrested in June and accused of collecting information about Russian military activities. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He needs some new lawyers. Cloudy and 55 degrees downtown. Plenty of rain on your radar with a low of 51 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. A major change to the Delphi murders case. Donnie Burgess reports the court hearing today lasted less than 5 minutes.
Suspect Richard Allen's legal team has officially resigned from the case just days after public accusations were made that a former colleague of Andrew Baldwin leaked crime scene photos and other evidence to people online. Allen filed a motion Thursday morning saying he wanted his legal team to stay in place and that he had grown close with them, but that's not going to happen. A new court date has been set for October 31st, a year after Allen's arrest. A new trial date is expected. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The former Greenwood police officer who was found dead at a park October 8th died from an asthma attack, says the Johnson County coroner. Zane Hennig had resigned from the department after accusations of sending inappropriate messages while on the job. A man was shot this morning at a Speedway gas station. Ryan Hedrick reports on IMPD's investigation.
Lieutenant Shane Foley says Antoine Beach is a convicted drug dealer with warrants for violating his probation.
Beach allegedly reached for the gun, and one officer discharged his department-issued firearm, striking Beach.
Beach is in stable condition. Foley says body cameras and gas station surveillance video will be reviewed by Internal Affairs. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Every little bit helps when it comes to rain as central Indiana continues to be in a drought.
Looking at the latest guidance, it looks like we might get a little bit more rain than we were expecting, generally around half an inch or less around most of the area. Could see maybe localized higher amounts north of the Indy area. We'll see about that, but we're still about 4.5 inches below normal, I think.
National Weather Service forecaster Greg Mello says a third of the state's in a moderate drought. You've probably heard about a teacher shortage, both in Indiana and across the country. John Hayrick reports on what one university is doing about it.
One thing that can be a barrier for teachers or people who want to be teachers is money.
And we wanted to make this as affordable as possible for our students who are really interested in becoming educators.
LaTanya Turner is the dean of Marian University's Fred Klipsch Educators College. She says Marian is now offering a scholarship that's a half-off tuition discount for any incoming student that wants to be an educator. That's at both Marian's campus in Indianapolis and Plymouth. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. We recently saved a 50-year-old couple over $300 per month when compared to their old individual plan. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 per month when compared to their quote on healthcare.gov. We are now entering the crazy enrollment season when our federal government will spend millions telling us that healthcare.gov is our only good option for quality health care. Whether it's called healthcare.gov, Affordable Care Act, or it's still Obamacare, don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. Give us a call at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. Quoting the great Dr. Duke Tomato, Lord, please help our Colts. And as always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
With traffic in the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison crash clear eastbound 465 before Ditch Road. The right lane was closed. Now it's open. Stop and go traffic. Back to Michigan Road. And then inbound 65 drags on the way in from West Street to Meridian Penn. Southbound 465 crash at Arlington Avenue. And that's on the right shoulder, causing slow traffic back to I-74. Westbound US 40 closed at County Road 500 to US 231 in Putnam. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is a trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We're looking mostly cloudy as we move into Thursday evening with light rain most likely active on and off overnight. Low temperature near 51 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday morning we still have a few showers, but we'll dry out later. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Junior Students for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
And I'm telling you, Hammer, this Delphi murder trial is starting to look more and more like I don't want to use the word circus, but I really hope these latest developments don't hinder finding justice for Abby and Libby.
So today was the day where everybody was supposed to have this big come to Jesus meeting with Judge Fran Gull in her courtroom. This isn't the courtroom where the trial is going to be taking place. This was a specific location, and it lasted about 5 minutes. Richard Allen's appearance in court lasted about 5 minutes because we found out that the defense team for Richard Allen has withdrawn. And now state public defenders will be given to the Delphi murder suspect. Now, when you were gone, Nige, we had
about this.
Richard Essex, the investigative reporter for Channel 13, in here, and there were a lot of people that felt the defense team was doing some very, I don't want to say, underhanded tactics to try to make this whole thing look like just a chaotic circus. Wow. But today, the defense team did not show up. They have withdrawn themselves, and a public defender will be named to Richard Allen.
Didn't something get leaked?
Grisly crime scene photos, allegedly grisly crime scene photos, leaked out to the Murder Sheet podcast, which we've had on the show before, Anya and Kevin, to which once they received it, it was unsolicited. They didn't ask for it. They called the authorities and said, hey, these look like grisly crime scene photos. This looks like evidence. We don't want to be involved in any of this. So they called the police. They didn't do anything wrong, but the fact that these pieces of evidence are being emailed out, that's a problem because that could taint a potential jury pool.
I know, and that's exactly how I started this segment out with, is I hope this does not in any way hinder finding justice for Abby and Libby, because it seems like kind of a mess right now.
And John Herrick, the news director at 93 WIBC, will join us coming up here in just a little bit, and he will have more information. But again, it was quick. It was over in 5 minutes. The defense team has left Richard Allen, and state-appointed public defenders will be appointed. So, Nige, you are back in Indiana, fresh off a trip to Florida.
Hello.
So how are you going to spend your evening hours tonight? At 8 o'clock, will you be watching Joe Biden's primetime address on Israel and the Ukraine wars, or Jacksonville at New Orleans, Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime?
Oh, don't do this to me. What should I be watching, or what do I want to watch? I'm going to watch Joe Biden's primetime address on Israel and Ukraine, so you don't have to. Is that all right with everybody?
We appreciate that.
Yeah, you owe me a debt of gratitude.
You're back for one day out of the last two, and I already owe you something. Fantastic. Joe Biden tonight, if you can't be around a television, you can hear it right here at 93 WIBC at 8 o'clock. So what do you think we're going to hear tonight, Nige?
I think he's better exudes some sort of confidence, some sort of powerful exuberance to let the world know that you are not to mess around here.
Well, he said don't 3 times the other day. Was that not enough for you?
Don't. I better not hear any of this. Well, we got to pull back. We've got to, look, we got to, got to be careful because of the citizens of Gaza. And that's not how war works at all.
Right.
I don't want to hear anything about proportionality. Sorry, that's not how this works.
Now,
I want to hear confidence.
Well, you may be waiting for a while for that. We haven't seen that since the minute he took the oath of office. I think what you're going to hear tonight is him speaking out of both sides of his mouth. He's going to go up there and say the United States stands by Israel, our ally Israel, But just like he did in the speech in Israel, where he mentioned, yeah, we stand by Israel, but we're kind of going to give the Gaza Strip $100 million.
Today, I'm also announcing $100 million in new U.S. funding for humanitarian assistance in both Gaza and the West Bank. Let me be clear. If Hamas diverts or steals the assistance, they will have demonstrated once again that they have no concern for the welfare of the Palestinian people.
Isn't that how we got here in the first place? Unfroze the $6 billion, and then what do you know? Hamas sneaks over the border and slaughters 1,300 Israelis, and brutally. Might I add that word in? This is how we got here in the first place.
Yeah, and listen, you can talk all you want. Hamas better not take that money and use it for terror. Get ready, Bal, because Hamas is totally going to take that money and use it for terror.
This is the same Hamas that uses its own civilians as human shields. They wouldn't let them leave Gaza after Israel told them to get out because the attacks were coming. I saw footage of Gazans trying to escape and Hamas bombing cars so they wouldn't leave. And the reason they want to do that is to show the world the grisly photos. Here's what Israelis doing to the Palestinians.
And keep in mind, Hamas is the elected political party of the Palestinians by the Gaza Strip. So don't tell me that, well, we hope you don't use it for anything nefarious. I mean, what did you expect? They have received tons of money over the years for, quote, humanitarian aid. And guess what they haven't used it for? Humanitarian aid, for the love of God. Ron DeSantis talked about this yesterday.
Joe Biden just announced $100 million of your taxpayer dollars going to the Gaza Strip. They say it's humanitarian assistance. We know Hamas is going to commandeer that money, and Hamas is going to use it to advance terrorism. I say no U.S. tax dollars to the Gaza Strip. We still have hostages being held by Hamas. There are American hostages being held by Hamas. How are you funding them when they're holding Americans as well as others hostage? I challenge every Republican running, step up to the plate, join me in opposing Biden's $100 million gift to Hamas.
Yeah, at least when they unfroze the $6 billion, that was to Iran. Now, we all know Iran funds Hamas, but now we're just giving it straight to Hamas? What? How are they able to do that anyway?
That's like giving Hunter Biden a bunch of money and say, don't go spend that on crack now. Okay, sounds good.
Who signs off on the paperwork in our federal government for tax dollars going to Hamas? I don't get it.
And I'm glad that Ron DeSantis brought up the hostage situation, because it feels like in this news cycle, we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about the people at the Capitol. We've talked about college kids protesting on campuses. But oh, by the way, there are American hostages here. When Iran took American hostages in 1979, it became like a round-the-clock story and ultimately led to the demise of Jimmy Carter's presidency, among other things. Today, there's a number of Americans being held hostage in Gaza, and the corporate national media is acting like nothing is happening here. It's almost like this doesn't exist. To me, Americans being held hostage is a pretty big damn deal. So tonight, Joe Biden, 8 p.m., addressing what's going on in Israel and also Ukraine. He couldn't do a speech without bringing up a little funding for Ukraine. But to get you in the mood, to get you fired up for what you could see tonight, the Hammer and Nigel Show present Great Moments in Presidential Speeches.
Great moments in presidential speeches.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Great moments in presidential speeches.
Nigel's watching Biden tonight, so you don't have to. That's your penance for being gone for so long. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
All right, fellas, we're looking at southbound 465 at Arlington Avenue. Broken down semi on the right shoulder has us jammed up to I-74. Crash clear north side, eastbound 465 between Michigan and Ditch. That's gone. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to Meridian Penn, and a multiple vehicle crashes 36 at Parker. Somebody's heard in that. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. If you need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And you can follow us, The Hammer and Nigel Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Hammer and Nigel. The YouTube stream, the Rob Kendall Memorial Camera, still down. You can listen to the program on YouTube, and you can get in the chat, but the live stream is down. Here's a tweet from John this is Russ, at Hammer and Nigel. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something from Biden tonight like, if you're in Gaza, get vaccinated as soon as possible. Thank you, Russ. Right now, gray skies, light rain, 56 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Hey, man, I've been on the Exercise Inc. program for years. I love it, especially since I don't have a lot of time to spend in a traditional gym. Exercise Inc. it's a once-a-week strength training program. It only lasts 20 minutes. It's a very different and unique way of working out and getting the physical exercise your body needs. 5 or 6 exercises that each only last about 3 minutes or so. Now, 20 minutes might not sound like a lot, but let me tell you something. What Exercise Inc. has done for me, not only has it saved me a bunch of time getting the physical activity my body craves, but lost a bunch of weight following my personal trainer's guidance on diet and eating habits and routines. So not only do you get the one-on-one coaching inside the gym, but you get help on what to do to stay active and live healthier outside the gym as well. There are a ton of success stories at exerciseinc.com. Check it out. There are locations all over town, including Zionsville, Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, and getting ready to open up in just a few weeks, Fishers. Exerciseinc.com. Change your life in 20 minutes a week with Exercise Inc.
After our investigation on Indianapolis Animal Care Services aired, our viewers asked us to dive deeper into animal welfare. Fox 59's Angela Ganote went searching for that answer.
Viewers and volunteers are frustrated that a proposed new animal care facility has not been built. Too many cats and dogs are being euthanized.
They don't focus enough on adoptions. They don't focus enough on rescues. And they just put whatever energy that they have into euthanizing dogs.
What we have today, from an animal care services standpoint, is simply shameful.
If Joe Hogsett was a good mayor, we'd have the new animal shelter he announced. Instead, an empty lot. If he cared, he'd have done the job after the cameras left. If Joe Hogsett was up to the job, whistleblowers' calls would have been answered. Instead, euthanasia. Joe Hogsett's had 8 years as mayor. You know about the crime and the roads and the overdoses. But it turns out Joe's failed them, too. It's time for a change.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
If there's anything better than getting a few of your favorite things from McDonald's, it's getting a few of your favorite things from McDonald's for less in the McDonald's app. Delicious. Order in the McDonald's app today. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
When the Colts score, so do you. Buy one Big Mac and get another on us when the Colts make a field goal. Only in the McDonald's app. Offer valid day after Colts game at participating McDonald's. Valid once per day. Must opt into rewards.
When your health is complicated, it's important that your health insurance is not. That's why CareSource offers affordable marketplace plans with a premium network that helps you stay healthy. In addition to doctor visits, emergency services, hospital care, and prescription benefits, we also provide dependable coverage for chronic conditions like diabetes, too. To learn more about our marketplace health plans, visit caresource.com/marketplace. CareSource, we got you.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. You may be aware that online crime is a huge threat. But did you know this problem could be a great career opportunity for you? Cybersecurity experts are in high demand and well paid. You can position yourself for this specialty in months, not years, at My Computer Career, even with no prior IT experience. Learn how you can train for this rewarding career at mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
AAR Indianapolis is the place to build your aviation career. We're hosting interviews and facility tours Tuesday, October 24th and Saturday, October 28th from 1 to 6 p.m. Located near the airport at 2825 West Perimeter Road, Indianapolis.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Guess who's back? Back again. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm Nigel. Hammer's over there. I'm done with Netflix. I think I'm logging out, staying out, done with them. They're raising their prices starting today. And I don't really even watch it anymore. I watch it because the only time I watch it now is Seinfeld reruns. When I just want something on in the background or something to fall asleep to. My wife and I watched the movie Reptile with Benicio del Toro. And I forget who else is in it, but Justin Timberlake's in that movie, I think. And it was okay. And I was like...
Was that a Netflix-produced movie?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't out in the theaters or anything like that. And I only watch it for the shows that have been around for 20 or 30 years.
Right. I binge-watched Suits, which was out on USA for years, and I never paid any attention to it, but got into it, binge-watched that. But their original programming stuff, I haven't watched it in a while.
So Netflix has 3 pricing tiers now. An option with ads, that's the standard, and premium. Some customers are grandfathered into the basic plan, but it's not an option people could choose. Right? I don't know how any of it works. I don't know.
All I know is they're jacking up the prices today.
Wait. So they're showing ads on premium?
So the new price hike is hitting Netflix basic and premium tiers. Each option's now $2 more expensive than it used to be. $11.99 for basic and $22.99 for premium.
So now, that must be without ads.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, remember when cord cutting, like everybody was singing its praises, it's going to save you so much money.
No.
By the time you get Netflix and Hulu or Peacock or whatever it is that you want, you're paying more than if you had just kept your cable and internet together. I mean, it's ridiculous now. I went from being a cord cutter back to the cord.
Yeah.
And I have a few of these apps.
Wait, you did?
Yeah.
You have cable?
Again, yes. 100%.
I have MetroNet, which is kind of an a la carte sort of thing. And I'm happy with it. But we also, again, on top of MetroNet, all the basic cable channels, ESPN, stuff like that, we have Netflix, we have Disney, we have Max, HBO Max.
Yep.
I would keep Max and Disney way before Netflix and Paramount for that matter. And Peacock,
I'm with you. I watch more HBO Max and Peacock probably than anything else.
Some people say YouTube TV is a better option. In fact, I was able to watch the Colts game in Florida at the house. I was going to have to go to a bar to watch it because they were showing Miami and
the home teams.
Yeah, there was Miami and I forget the other
Tampa.
Yeah. Well, no, but I was going to have to go to a bar to watch the Colts games until I discovered my buddy Dave, who went with us, rigged it so he had YouTube TV and I could sit there on my couch by myself while my precious family was out on the beach. I was missing memories of them out on the beach watching that horrible Colts game on Sunday by myself.
Well, look at it this way. You ignore them when they're here. Now you ignore them when they're on vacation. It's consistency, and I respect the hell out of that from you, Nige. Allison, let's do some Halloween stuff. Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff. So you just got back from Florida, and this story from Florida. 4th grade students at the Academy for Innovative Education in Miami Springs, they were allowed to pick a movie to watch in class. The movie they chose, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now,
I'm sorry?
This is not the Disney Winnie the Pooh. There was this bizarre horror slasher flick called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And the math teacher in this class allowed the kids to watch this. Now, if you look up the...
Jeez. I'm watching the trailer right now. Good God. Oh.
If you look up the description on Wikipedia, quote, 2 bloodthirsty murderers, one of whom wears a Winnie the Pooh mask while terrorizing a group of young university women. And this is what they watched for about 20 to 30 minutes in class. One of the concerned parents told a Miami TV station, quote, the teacher didn't stop the movie, even though there were kids saying, hey, stop the movie. We don't want to see this.
What in the world? I'm watching this trailer right now. It's awful.
The school put out a statement, quote, the Academy for Innovative Education has become aware that a segment of a horror movie was shown to 4th graders that was not suitable for the age group. Our administration promptly addressed this issue directly with the teacher and has taken appropriate action.
I mean, that's a fireable offense, is it not?
Right. I mean, this is a gory slasher flick.
4th graders.
Right.
I just watched the trailer. There was axe-wielding Winnie the Pooh, blood everywhere, chicks being attacked.
Like, if you're going to watch a scary movie in class, next time, reach out to Hammer and Nigel Films.
Sure.
In 1994, college filmmakers went missing in the woods, and their footage was found a year later.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom. I am so sorry.
That footage became the movie The Blair Witch Project.
I'm so scared.
And it made a crap ton of money.
The low-budget horror hits already brewed up over $108 million.
And now, the story continues.
Woo!
Let's go! Hammer and Nigel Films present The Blair Witch Project, starring the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun.
Doing anything he can to survive, Ric Flair tries to seduce the witches.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at it. Learn to love it. I'm not going anywhere.
Watch as Rick struggles in the woods against villains like Chris Christie.
And you are Fat Boy. You don't like that, do you? Well, let me tell you something, Fat Boy. You don't like it? Do something about it.
The Blair Witch Project, coming soon from Hammer and Nigel Films.
I can't wait.
To be the man. You gotta beat the man, baby. And right now, I am the man.
On a count of 3, in your car, at work, in the studio, everybody give me your best Ric Flair woo on a count of 3. Allison, you get in the mix here. 1, 2, 3. Woo! It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Paid for by John Rust for U.S. Senate. Next year, Indiana Republicans will have the choice to pick our next U.S. Senator. But if it's up to Mitch McConnell and the D.C. swamp, we'll have no choice. The Washington elite and political insiders are trying to rig this election for their hand-picked career politician ally, Jim Banks. That's why conservative businessman and Indiana farmer John Rust has stepped up to fight for us. As a lifelong conservative, John believes we need an outsider's voice that's focused on Hoosiers. John Rust is committed to fighting the woke liberal mob, defending seniors by protecting Social Security, and creating an economy that works for middle-class families, not DC insiders. While Jim Banks and Mitch McConnell are focused on keeping power for themselves, John Rust is focused on putting Indiana first. Career politicians like Jim Banks are always talking about solving problems. but we can trust businessmen like John Rust to actually get the job done.
I'm U.S. Senate candidate John Rust, and I approve this message.
Hey, Hammer Nigel here for your Central Indiana American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. That's Absolute Comfort. Absolute Comfort specializes in Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits. They're those diverse systems that can be mounted on your wall or flush with the ceiling, and they heat and cool at very efficient levels, and they can be used to heat or cool specific rooms without the ductwork, which ends up being a very clean way to heat and cool your home, business, or even your garage.
These high-tech units are how most of the world heats and cools their homes and offices. These Mitsubishi electric ductless systems have advancements that can sense when a person is in a room and can warm or cool that room to that person's wishes. For the ultimate in efficiency and comfort, contact Chris Wedekin at Absolute Comfort to find out more. AbsoluteComfort.org. AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Tony Katz here for 459 Barber Lounge. You want to look your best? You got to go to the best. 459 has highly skilled barbers and stylists with over 100 years of combined experience. They've been serving Indy for over 20 years. They take care of me, and you're going to love your look after a visit to 459 Barber Lounge. They sell beer and wine, and they're open 7 days a week. Newly expanded, newly renovated, across from the Fashion Mall on 86th Street. 459online.com. That's 459online.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His lawyers are done with the case. Cloudy, 55 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Rain still hanging around on your radar. Low of 51 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:33. The Delphi murders court hearing lasted less than 5 minutes. Donnie Burgess reports on a major change in the case.
We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen.
Special Judge Fran Gall in Thursday's hearing.
The defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr. Allen. Mr. Baldwin made an oral motion to withdraw. I granted that oral motion to withdraw, and Mr. Rosie will be submitting a written motion to withdraw, I'm assuming within the next couple of days.
Allen still needs a public defender, and his previous legal team is allowed to help the new legal team whenever they're selected. The trial will be rescheduled and not happen in January. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IMPD officer shot a convicted drug dealer at a gas station today. Lieutenant Shane Foley says the suspect, Antoine Beach, had warrants for probation violations for dealing cocaine and
2 counts of operating a vehicle while intoxicated, level A misdemeanor, and a level C misdemeanor.
Police say Beach reached for a gun when they shot him. The House still doesn't have a speaker. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican who was voted out this month, says it's only led to a waste of time.
The more time we waste here, all that ability to be able to get our bill to secure the border, all that ability to eliminate wasteful spending, all that ability to end the wokeism, we're losing on.
Ohio Republican Jim Jordan did not get enough votes after 2 rounds of voting this week. President Joe Biden plans to speak from the Oval Office tonight about the wars in both Israel and Ukraine. His speech is scheduled for 8 p.m. You can listen to it live on WIBC. The Indianapolis Department of Public Works is already prepared to handle bad winter weather, but Department Director Brandon Herget says they'll need your cooperation, too.
You want to get to kids to school, you want to get to work. But nothing's as important as getting home at the end of the day. So just give our folks time, give our folks space so that everybody can get home safely.
He says the department was given more money to hire and train more drivers. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:35.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for ZeoRez, and you and I both know that the carpets and floors don't clean themselves. And in fact, they can get so bad that they're way scarier than any Halloween script could imagine. How about a gentle cleaning to soothe your home into a wonderful fall retreat with the patented ZR water? Really, it's a great time to clean the carpets, and it's quick and easy to schedule online. Nobody but ZeoRez has the patented electrolyzed ZR water that cleans with no soap, no harsh chemicals, and no residue to attract more dirt. They can even clean your ductwork to help you breathe easier. Duct cleaning improves the air quality in your home as well as the efficiency of your HVAC equipment. ZeoRez gets all the yuck out for a fresh fall cleaning with no tricks, just great technicians skilled in thoroughly cleaning up dirt and stains. Schedule online today at ZeoRezIndy.com and mention WIBC. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $149, and they'll give you a free hallway and $50 off air duct cleaning too. For a smarter, lasting clean and really easy scheduling, visit ZeoRezIndy.com.
With traffic at 336, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, we are looking at northbound as 465 at I-65 on the northwest side. It is a crash blocking the left lane, causing stop traffic back to West 56th Street. Crash downtown, southbound 6570 at Washington Street, and that is blocking the right lane. Semi-involved traffic stopped into the north split and then onto westbound 70 back to Rural Street. A disabled semi cleared on southbound 465 at Arlington Avenue on the southeast side. We're still slow back to Brookville Road. Crash guys to Mud Creek Road at Fall Creek. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We're looking mostly cloudy as we move into Thursday evening with light rain most likely active on and off overnight. Low temperature near 51 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday morning we still have a few showers, but we'll dry out later. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Bruno Studis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, my name is Nigel. That's Jason Hammer over there with a very special guest in studio.
John Herrick is the news director here at 93 WIBC. And John, today was the day that I thought Judge Fran Gall, the judge looking over the Delphi murder case, was supposed to bring everybody together, and this was the big come to Jesus. Listen, get your acts together. We don't want any more leaks. We don't want any more drama. This is not going to be a circus. But it is indeed turned into a circus because the defense team for Richard Allen is no longer there. Take me through what happened today.
Well, all that was, Hammer, was basically it was a 3-minute court hearing. I mean, you're right. I thought it was going to be one that was going to be a lot longer. She might try to address the leak, which, again, we heard rumors that it came from this attorney, Andrew Baldwin's office.
Now, the leak we're talking about is the grisly crime scene photos that went to at least the Murder Sheet podcast folks.
But we really don't know where they came from.
Don't know where they came from.
Alleged. That's the rumor.
And I thought that might get addressed today. But then, of course, the court hearing only lasted about 3 minutes, and she got up there and said, Mr. Baldwin made an oral motion to withdraw. I grant it. And Bradley Rosie submitted a written motion to withdraw. I'm going to be granting that too. So now I think we kind of all knew that this January trial date for 2024 was not really going to happen. But today, this hearing basically solidifies that there's no way a January trial date can happen because any defense team that now takes on this case is going to need quite a bit of time to prepare for a case of this magnitude.
So who's going to be defending Richard Allen? Do we know?
No, I don't know. I no idea at this point, although there is the option that Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rosie, the two guys who did withdraw from the case, they still could assist on the trial. They still could help whoever the new attorneys are.
Even if it's state appointed?
Yeah, even if it's state appointed. They could do that. Don't know if they will, but they can. There is another hearing coming up of all days on Halloween. That's the next court date that's coming up.
There have been some twists and some turns and some very strange things happening, and the trial hasn't even started yet, Hammer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like from day one, they want Richard Allen moved. He say he's being mistreated. You see him. You see a photo of him looking disheveled and gaunt, and they say he's the guards are mistreating him. And then this whole theory about the occult, and they're the ones to blame for the murders. And the list is a mile long.
Well, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Nigel, because a lot of people are asking us, did he even appear in court today? Well, no, because his legal team, basically withdrew, so there's no reason for him to be there, and he got sent right back to the Indiana Department of Corrections. So even though the hearing was short, it created even more of a stir about what could happen next.
Were there any rumors or leaks that this was going to happen? Because it feels like the judge was kind of, I don't say hyping this up, but made everybody aware. There's going to be cameras in the courtroom. This is going to be streamed. If you want to watch it, but we're going to get everybody's ducks in a row here. And it lasted 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think, too, everybody's been demanding for transparency with this. There's been a lot of calls for cameras to be in the courtroom, and I think she realized that we need to have them in here, even if we don't broadcast this live, because we can at least show it back to people later. And I think she knew something was I knew something was going to happen with the attorneys. Either they were going to get chewed out for something regarding these accused leaks that have happened, or somebody might get reprimanded. But instead, they both withdrew.
I'm just wondering who benefits from this more, the prosecution or Richard Allen? Because it seems like, I don't know, man. It just seems like justice for Libby and Abby has been delayed again.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We need to have an attorney on, or somebody, a defense attorney, tell us what exactly is going on here. What are the reasons for somebody that they would abandon their client like this?
Right. And we were hoping to get some of those answers today, because even before this brief court appearance today, Richard Allen's team put out a statement saying he wants to retain his counsel. But then, not even 24 hours later, we find out that they're not going to be around anymore.
Yeah, I think he tried to get ahead of it. He tried to get ahead of it and say, I want to keep them, because now, like you said, Nigel, he has been in a situation where his prison situation has been bad. He has not been, I don't know, they say he hasn't been eating, or he's been taking abuse. So why wouldn't he want to?
There's confessions.
Yeah.
There's confessions from him to his wife that were recorded that said that he did it.
Yeah.
I mean, plus the smoking gun, so to speak. Probably not the best of terms, but the unspent shell casing that was found near the bodies that was traced back to Richard Allen's gun.
And John, one more thing here before we let you go, because I know you've got other duties you're following. It's a crazy news cycle right now, so I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Do we know if the Indiana State Police is still investigating this alleged leak of crime scene photos? We know that the Murder Sheet podcast, unsolicited, got some of those emailed to them. They called the authorities. They said, hey, we didn't do anything wrong. Just want to make sure you guys know what's happening here. But we don't know who else may have received any photos. Are the police still looking into this?
We've reached out to the police, have not heard back from them on that. So that's something that we'll definitely be following up on, because I got to imagine something might have happened with that. And maybe that has something to do with these two withdrawals from the case today from these two attorneys. But until we know something, we're not sure yet, but we're going to still follow up on that.
I mean, leaked evidence, if you're somebody that's a defense attorney, that's grounds for having this whole thing thrown off, because that can taint potential jurors in the situation.
Yeah, it's just been a crazy story that's had one big left turn after another, it seems.
Where can we get more information?
WIBC.com, and of course in our newscasts all throughout this afternoon, and then tomorrow too.
John Herrick, thank you.
Thank you.
Imagine opening up that email, Hammer. I mean,
and from what we have heard, now I have not seen the pictures, and I don't want to see the pictures. It's pretty bad. And that's all that I can say about what we've heard about the crime scene.
What the hell is going on? Somebody who has access to those photos decided that it'd be a great idea to leak them to this long-time podcasting series.
Again, the rumor, and again, take that for what it is. The rumor is it was a former employee of the legal team that still had access to the office, went in there, got the information.
That's crazy.
And sent it out. So, Nigel, while you were probably in a bird flying from warm weather to whatever the hell this weather is here in Indy yesterday, there was a little get-together at the Capitol in Washington, D.C.
Oh, really?
The pro-Palestinian group, they all got together and they got fired up to the point to where they went inside the Capitol, threatened a few lawmakers, broke a few things, but don't you dare call it an insurrection.
I'm not allowed to call that an insurrection?
No.
Sounds pretty insurrection-y to me.
And remember when Donald Trump was kicked off of social media and ultimately indicted for stirring up a riot, firing up a riot on January 6th? Well, take a listen to this. Rashida Tlaib and fellow squad member Cori Bush, they were speaking to the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas group that was outside of the Capitol at this time, before they all went inside and made asses of themselves. Listen to the language you hear from Representative Tlaib and Cori Bush.
All of you as well, that you know you're being targeted, you're being gaslit. Some people are losing their jobs. Folks are getting events canceled. Literally, their First Amendment right wiped away for standing up and saying that children deserve to live. It is pure, literally inhumane for my colleagues to allow that to continue and say nothing.
All right, two things here. Number one, there's not going to be a ceasefire right now. You don't get to call for a ceasefire before the other side gets a chance to retaliate. Jerry, who filled in for you yesterday, Nigel, Spanglish made a great point. You don't get to go up to Mike Tyson, punch him in the face, and then say, hey, ceasefire. It doesn't work that way. And you know what else doesn't work that way, Representative Tlaib? The First Amendment. You can still be fired if you post a meme celebrating Hamas murdering children by paragliding or doing something like that. You're not going to be put in jail, but you can be fired. The First Amendment is designed to keep you out of jail for your thoughts. You can get fired. Like a guy named Dion runs the Urban One radio department.
Yeah.
Now, if I go on the air and I say, Dion's this and Dion's that, I'm not going to jail, but I'm probably going to get fired.
Going to the unemployment line.
I'm going to the unemployment line.
And the other thing was, I mean, it's a speech that sounded an awful lot like January 6th.
It did.
Replace children deserve to live with people have questions about the election.
It's the same speech, really. Firing up a base that feels like they're at their breaking point. You know, throwing gasoline on the fire, if you will. Here's Cori Bush.
And so together, you all, we must be bold. We must stand. We must stand on the side of humanity. We must stand on the side of justice. We must stand on the side of equality. We must stand on the side of self-determination. We must stand on the side of love. We must stand on the side of safety. And we must stand on the side of peace.
Justice, safety, all to a group of people who feel like it's perfectly fine for Hamas to kidnap and murder children.
And to a lesser extent, she has a right to say all those things. But when January 6th happened, those people are still in jail because of those things.
Right.
Because of the things in the Capitol. I mean, I look at that footage. It's crazy of them in the Capitol.
We retweeted a couple different things yesterday. There was a representative from Texas who had a lot of things outside his office damaged, photos slammed on the ground.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene basically threatened, chased away from her office. And Large Marge, MTG, she's requesting that the U.S. Capitol Police preserve all the surveillance footage and video. Don't pull this "we've deleted anything" crap. She put out a statement, quote, I'm requesting Capitol Police preserve all video surveillance footage, photographic evidence, police reports, and arrest records from all House office buildings on October 18th, 2023. By launching an insurrection in the Capitol complex, these actors caused elevators to be shut down, staircases and hallways to be blocked, exits to be made inaccessible, and official legislative business to be obstructed, putting members of Congress, their staffs, and the Capitol at risk. And I hope we keep track of these people that were arrested, because what are the chances they get the same treatment as people walking around the Capitol on January 6th?
Oh, no. There'll be celebrities around the corner waiting to bail them out.
Some people got charged that weren't even there on January 6th.
Yeah.
They're going to serve more time in jail than anybody that was there yesterday, damaging property, threatening lawmakers, and disrupting business. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Rob, I have a question for you.
Yes, Casey.
Did you know the Social Security Trust Fund is now scheduled to run out of money in just 10 years?
Why, yes, I did, Casey, because our politicians are awful and dishonest with the public. And, well, we talk about that all the time on this show.
This news could dramatically change how and when you file for your benefits.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could wring every stinking nickel out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. This free analysis pinpoints exactly how you could get the most income from Social Security while considering your taxes, IRA, and 401k withdrawals and spousal benefits.
If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis by calling 317-932-9912. Save yourself a ton of time and avoid making a critical mistake. Call 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. You should have seen my garage floor before Galaxy Concrete Coatings got a hold of it. It was cracked, dirty. I didn't think a garage floor could look this pristine. And it's 4 times stronger than epoxy. Yeah, no, they don't use epoxy. That's the old stuff. Galaxy uses polyurea, the new premium standard for coatings. Check out their website to see the pictures and get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office at 751-9070.
Indianapolis. With Mayor Joe Hogsett, we've made real progress. Billions in new construction, unemployment at a historic low, 700 new police, $1.2 billion in new infrastructure, hundreds of new streetlights, and thousands of college scholarships. Now Joe Hogsett is fighting the state abortion ban and to get guns off the street. But Joe knows the work isn't done. It's why he's hiring even more police, expanding community policing, and investing in programs that help keep kids out of trouble. And Jefferson Shreve, he supports banning abortion. And after getting an A rating from the NRA, Jefferson Shreve has been against any new gun laws. Jefferson Shreve is bringing Trump-style politics to Indianapolis and trashing our city. Re-elect Mayor Joe Hogsett. Steady leadership in times of change.
Paid for by Hogsett for Indianapolis.
Need a new furnace or air conditioner? Get the best from B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains.
Go to B+W.com. B&W, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Georgia Street Tailgates presented by Peterman Brothers, Sunday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. before the Colts-Browns game. Free entertainment on the Jack Daniels stage, plus food and drinks, brought to you in part by Jack Daniels, New Belgium Brewing, 1150 Academy, and the Veterans Administration.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Crash southbound 6570 Washington Street, blocking the right lane, causing stop traffic into the north split and back onto I-70 all the way to Sherman Drive. Inbound 65 stop and go at 21st to the crash at Rockville Road a Country Club. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Ah, Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, gray skies, got some light rain in areas. 56 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
I think all of Central Indy must go down to Florida for fall break, especially where I was at, AMI, Anna Maria Island, which is Bradenton, Sarasota area. The first night I was there, we were waiting at some place called the Sandbar, which is this huge restaurant right outside the beach. These two guys walk up to me, Jason and Trevor. Nigel, right? Nigel, Hammer and Nigel show, is that you? Now, granted, I'll say this. That night I was wearing I was repping with some Hammer and Nigel shirt. The shirt that I have fits me really well, actually. Do we still?
Yeah, the merch store still open.
Then a couple days ago, the weather was really crappy during the day. Hardly anybody on the beach, but my son likes to go shelling, likes to collect shells.
Yeah.
So we're walking down the beach for two miles. We ran into 2 different groups of people. Are you Nigel? We love the show. We love WIBC. 2 different people, and then later that night, at a CVS in Avon. Obviously, Avon. The guy was from Avon. I was there buying some cough syrup for my kid. We said, Nigel, yeah, love the show, man.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's more. I get recognized more down there than I do here. Nobody knows who the hell I am here.
Well, you're there more than you're here.
Yeah, right.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Electric vehicles are here to stay. And if you're looking for an electric vehicle, Andy Moore Ford is your EV headquarters. More selection. Get to Andy Moore Ford to shop the Mach-E, the E-Transit, the F-150 Lightning in stock, and more arriving daily. Save more at the pump when you switch to an Andy Moore Ford EV. Say hello to more rebates with federal and state incentives. You could save more. How's over $7,500 sound to you? But the benefits don't end there. Purchasing an EV with Andy Moore means you can take advantage of excellent services like more to your door, more peace of mind with over a decade of experience in selling and servicing electric vehicles. Andy Moore Ford's EV experts are here to answer all of your questions from sales to service, parts to maintenance. Check out Andy Moore Ford. Find them in Plainfield at 2713 East Main Street, 2713 East Main Street. Andy Moore Ford. Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com. That's AndyMooreFord.com.
Hey, thanks to B&W Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They're the ones that installed my new air conditioner. They were also just out of my house fixing a drain pipe in my basement. Look, you're a homeowner. I'm a homeowner. I'm also an American Standard air conditioning owner. You don't have to worry about your heating and cooling with American Standard.
B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains in Speedway. Ask B&W about their Premier Club. Premier Club members get a visit from a B&W member in the spring and the fall where they'll check all of your electrical connections, voltage and amps on your AC and furnace, your gas pressure on your gas furnace, check the airflow, and leave you with extra filters so you can change it yourself when needed. Visit bplusw.com. That's B, the word plus, W.com, or just give them a call, 317-243-3581. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs. Winning for my clients is so important to me because I know what they're going through. I was in a wreck myself back in 2015. I've been there, and I'll be there for you. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Wrights, former Colts offensive lineman.
And I'm Jill Wrights.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen needs a new legal team. Indy police shot a man at a Speedway gas station this morning, and how Indianapolis is preparing for winter weather. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You were listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. Your time is 4 o'clock.
Missiles launched from Yemen. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Pentagon just confirming an incident involving a U.S. warship near Yemen.
The crew of the guided missile destroyer USS Carney, operating in the northern Red Sea earlier today, shot down 3 land attack cruise missiles and several drones that were launched by Houthi forces in Yemen.
The Houthis are rebels backed by Iran. Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder says it's not known for certain what the missiles and drones were targeting.
But they were launched from Yemen heading north along the Red Sea, potentially towards targets in Israel.
This follows drone attacks on U.S. sites in Syria and Iraq. In Syria, one drone was taken down, but another impacted a base, causing minor injuries to coalition forces. In Iraq, the Pentagon says there were early warnings, but no impact. However, a civilian contractor suffered cardiac issues while sheltering in place and died. With 2 aircraft carrier strike groups in the Mediterranean, Ryder says the U.S. aim is deterrence, preventing a wider conflict as fighting continues between Israel and Palestinian militants. Ryder also says they're still assessing the hospital explosion in Gaza.
Initial indications are that this was from an errant rocket that was launched by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. But again, we're going to continue to assess this.
Reuters is now reporting that an unclassified U.S. intelligence report estimates fewer deaths at the hospital than first thought, probably at the low end of 100 to 300, but still reflecting a staggering loss of life. The White House says President Biden has spoken with Ukraine's president ahead of an Oval Office address tonight, focusing in part on aid for Ukraine and Israel. House Speaker nominee Jim Jordan will try again for a House vote after 2 failed attempts to become Speaker. A plan to empower Speaker Pro Tem Patrick McHenry for now appears to have fallen apart. The Dow down 252 at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The hearing was a quick one. Cloudy, 56 degrees on the circle. The radar shows a few showers around central Indiana. You've got a low of 51 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen needs a new legal team. His previous defenders resigned today before the court hearing.
I'd like to set a new trial date. Obviously, I don't believe counsel will be prepared within the next couple of months to try a case of this magnitude in January.
Special Judge Fran Gull says Allen will still need a public defender. The hearing lasted less than 5 minutes. IMPD identified the man they shot this morning at a Speedway gas station. Lieutenant Shane Foley says Antoine Beach, a convicted drug dealer, had warrants for violating his probation.
Beach allegedly reached for the gun, and one officer discharged his department-issued firearm, striking Beach.
Beach is in stable condition. Foley says they'll take a look at the officer's body cam footage in the investigation. Temperatures have been up and down this month, but that's typical for October.
They tend to, cool us down, give us some cooler temperatures, and then we get high pressure moving in after that and just warming us up right after that. It's pretty much like the spring as well. That's what happens in the spring, where we go from, having really cool days to warm days in the spring.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says you can expect frost in the mornings and warm temperatures next week. Winter weather could be here soon, but the Indianapolis Department of Public Works believes they've got a good handle on it.
But that doesn't mean it's easy. I'm Sean Herrick.
So I think one of the biggest challenges our folks face is just you got to jump in your car at a moment's notice, get to work, get in your truck, and get out there to keep our roads passable.
The department's director, Brandon Herget, says in order to get ready for those obstacles, the drivers do practice runs so they know where the problem spots can be when snow falls. He says nearly 80 trucks and almost 19,000 tons of salt are ready to be used in case a big snowstorm hits Indiana. Sean Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Are you tired of paying these insane rates on your credit cards and other loans? You can cut those payments by hundreds of dollars a month by using the equity in your home. What's up? It's Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel show. Loan Pronto is here, and they can help you tap that equity and get tens of thousands of dollars in less than a week. Their Equity Express line of credit can get you enough money to pay off all those ridiculous high-interest credit cards or maybe that car loan. You won't lose your 3% mortgage rate. It stays intact. You can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying ridiculous interest rates on those credit cards and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto today. 317-953-6525. 953-6525. 953-6525. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval.
With traffic in the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking downtown. It is a crash. Southbound 6570 at Washington Street in the right lane is blocked, stopping traffic back into the north split that's jammed up westbound 70 from Sherman. On the east side, southbound 465 slow off 70 down to 74. Northbound 465 on the northwest side, crash clear at the interchange with I-65, but northbound 65 is stop and go from 465 up to 71st. This is a crash 56th Street at Shadeland Way, and another one on the west side, Rockville Road to Country Club. Traffic sponsored by Boost Infinite. Hey, thinking of getting the latest iPhone? Then check out the amazing wireless offer from Boost Infinite. For more, just dial pound 250 on your phone and say Boost Infinite. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto dial text message from this station's network. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Partly cloudy afternoon will lead to a cloudy evening with an occasional shower or two overnight. Low temperature near 54 degrees. Winds out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 50%. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis, 493 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Oh, this is wonderful news, Hammer. Hi, by the way, I'm Nigel. Hammer's right over there. CBS News saying Al-Qaeda affiliates and Hezbollah are calling on supporters to target U.S. and Israeli interests in response to the Israel-Hamas conflict. President Biden's trip to the region yesterday. All sorts of stuff is making these guys mad.
And within the last hour, we've heard from the United States State Department that the U.S. Navy has shot down some rockets near Yemen. So rockets were coming in toward the U.S. Navy. They were shot down out of the sky with the defense system. But things are certainly, shall we say, squirrely right now worldwide.
Yeah, and with, I'm sure you reported on this, FBI Director Wray issuing a statement about Americans, be vigilant. There could be lone wolf-style attacks involving one or two or three people that, just randomly want to hurt Americans. I mean,
well, thank God we've got a secure border to eliminate a lot of threats.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, hundreds of people on the terrorist watch list have been apprehended. Who knows how many got through? And the thing is, if people don't realize, look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I tried to tune out as much as I possibly could over the past few days off, but I was keeping it. I was paying attention, man. I was checking in. That's what I do for a living. And I wouldn't be honest with you if I said that it didn't enter my mind at any point whatsoever somebody could walk on this beach with an AK-47 and unload. I mean, look what happened. I mean, it's not unprecedented in this country, Hammer.
Right.
Over the past, San Bernardino, 14 people killed. Fort Hood, Pulse nightclub, just to name a few examples. Not to mention 9/11, but since then, lone wolf attacks are a thing in this country.
And I was texting with my mom a little bit about this too. You can't be scared though, because then these terrorist a-holes win. A terrorist wants to install terror in your life.
The day of rage.
They want you to be scared to do all the things that make you a badass American. Don't give them that satisfaction. Now, you can keep your head on a swivel. You can carry constitutionally in the state of Indiana, despite what Jefferson Shreve and Boss Hogsett think. You can do that. But don't live your life in fear, man. Screw these people. But keep an eye on what's happening. That's all you can do. And yes, Al-Qaeda and Hezbollah, they're calling for, attacks against American interests. Hezbollah says they're 1,000 times stronger than before.
Okay.
That's just fancy talk for the United States leadership is weaker than it's ever been before. So when Joe Biden, wheeling, dealing, hair sniffing, kiss stealing Joe Biden props his old ass up there against the podium tonight and delivers an address to the nation, you said it earlier, I want to see strength. I don't even like Joe Biden. I think he's the worst president this country's ever seen. And I really don't even think it's all that close.
He's got to nail it. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
He's going to get up there and demand more money for Ukraine. He's going to use what's happening in Israel as a mechanism for everybody to feel bad about Ukraine again. Because somewhere in the world right now, Zelensky is wearing a T-shirt, peeping his head out around like a corner. Hey, is this a bad time to ask for a couple bill? I know you guys are busy and terrorism sucks, but a couple bill can just get us through. We've got some folks that got birthdays coming up over here in the military. We want to have a good party. Can you give us a couple billion? Because the United States is funding everything Ukraine right now, from the war to pensions. So tonight, 8 p.m., Joe Biden speech to the nation. We'll have that for you here at 93 WIBC. Retired Air Force Lieutenant General David Deptula, he joined Fox earlier today on how Hezbollah wants a war not just in Israel, not just Gaza Strip against Israel. They want this to be a full-on, multi-fronted war.
So Hamas does not aim to defeat Israel on a Gaza battlefield, but rather by delegitimizing them in the eyes of the world community. And I think you see the same thing going on with Iran.
Yes, you're seeing the same thing going on with Iran. Well, anybody that's a terrorist a-hole right now feels emboldened because the United States is weak.
And there's another aspect to this. Anybody that thinks we've got Hamas on the ropes, but I say we, I mean our allies Israel. They've got them on the ropes, man. They're going into Gaza. They are going to get the job done. Hamas is not isolated. They have Iran backing them. This is an Iran operation. They've had a relationship with Hamas for years now. So anybody that thinks that it's just, you know, these ragtag fighters in the Gaza Strip that are, you know, hiding in tunnels with hostages is dead wrong. It's much bigger, much more complex than that.
And it's not going to be over anytime soon. Bibi Netanyahu made that perfectly clear yesterday. This is going to be a long war. And listen, this is personal for Israel. And we've said this before. We'll say it again. There's a whole group of Americans, a younger group, a younger generation that's about to see some grisly war. I mean, nasty stuff for the first time in their lives. Not talking about movie war. We're talking about hostages, beheadings, dead children. All of that kind of stuff is on the table here, and it's going to be happening for a while.
Here's the other thing, people. I have not heard this mentioned in the news at all. But does Israel own nukes? Their policy is deliberate ambiguity. Okay? That means they don't really talk about it. We don't know how many they have, but we're under a general understanding that they have nukes. And I don't know, if I was the mullahs in Iran, I'd be like, is that something we need to worry about? Because push comes to shove, and they're battling a two-front war with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon and then with Hamas in Gaza, and Iran is funding this whole thing. I don't know, man. It seems like they might be poking a bear.
Right.
And by the way, Israel said, we don't want any United States boots on the ground. I mean, there might be some SEAL Team 6 stuff going on with the hostages.
Right.
But here's the thing. Israel is actually attracting more people coming, you know, out of retirement. I just saw the thing about Taylor Swift's bodyguard, who is a Israeli fighter quitting and going back to work. They've got hundreds of thousands of people, more than they know what to do with in some cases, in Israel, ready to fight.
One of the best militaries in the world. And once they start the ground invasion, we've been hearing that a ground invasion is imminent for the better portion of a week. Once they start this, then you're going to see a lot of horrifying things, because Israel is not going to feel sorry for what happens once they go in. And keep in mind, once they do go in, there's no turning back at that point. It's officially on like Donkey Kong, right? It already is. But once that ground invasion starts and people, you know, start really going door to door and things like that happen, this thing is going to be lasting for a long, long time. And there's a big generation in this country that's going to see what war and hell is really like. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Hammer, I'm looking at southbound as 65 into downtown. That is stop and go traffic right now. West Street to the north split. And then on the east side, now we have a crash. It is on the ramp from westbound as 72 I-465. Ramp is open. Looking at southbound 465 on the east side. Slow roll from 70 down to Arlington Avenue. And then northbound 65 on the northwest side. Jammed up from 465 up to 71st Street. Traffic sponsored by IndySchools.org. Every child deserves a great public school that meets their needs, and charter schools are an option that's free, public, and open to all. Find out more at IndySchools.org. I'm Matt Bear on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Reading some comments on our YouTube chat. Chris writes, where's the camera feed? Chris, the camera feed is a little down right now. The software that works with the camera, there's something squirrely. We don't have the proper 1.21 gigawatts to make it all work. So our engineering team is working on the Rob Kendall Memorial camera, and we're hoping to have that done soon. The very next comment, swear to God, these are back to back.
Yeah.
Good to see Nigel's elephantitis cleared up. People are happy you're back, Nige.
Yeah, I get random texts here and there from people. I don't know what's going on. I'm down in Florida, and I know you're making up these faux injuries for me. I had one of my buddies just text me, taint? Question mark. I had no idea what that was referenced to, but I'm sure it was you.
I think I was talking to Matt Bear last week, and we just ran out of illnesses, and we just said you were dead. He fell off a cliff. He died on impact. He'll be back next Thursday. 57 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hey, Rob, I have a question for you.
Yes, Casey.
Did you know the Social Security Trust Fund is now scheduled to run out of money in just 10 years?
Why, yes, I did, Casey, because our politicians are awful and dishonest with the public. And, well, we talk about that all the time on this show.
This news could dramatically change how and when you file for your benefits.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could wring every stinking nickel out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. This free analysis pinpoints exactly how you could get the most income from Social Security while considering your taxes, IRA, and 401k withdrawals, and spousal benefits.
If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis by calling 317-932-9912. Save yourself a ton of time and avoid making a critical mistake. Call 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
I started losing hair around my crown and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
My mom needed new windows in her kitchen. I told her immediately to call Window Nation at 866-90Nation or windownation.com. Made an appointment. They were out within a day and then out within a couple more days to take measurements. Pretty soon she's going to have beautiful brand new Window Nation windows in her kitchen, and she got a great deal too. 2 windows free for every 2 you buy, plus no money down, no payments, and pay no interest for 2 years.
Get new windows now before the nasty cold weather arrives. And if you do it now, you'll save thousands of dollars because there are multiple deals and they all work with each other at Window Nation. Buy 2, get 2 for free, and there's no limit. And on top of that, 0, 0, 0 for 2 years. 0 money down, 0 payments, 0 interest for 2 full years. 866-90Nation or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
It's time to get in the tailgating spirit, Indiana. Take a little trip this football season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 1,000 vehicles. Chevy, Ford, GMC, Buick, Nissan, Acura, Mazda, Honda, and many more. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Get in the tailgating spirit, Indiana, because Hubler's got you covered this football season for 100,000 miles. So what drives Indiana? DriveHubler.com. For over 1,000 vehicles, visit any of our 12 locations. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
24/7 ER care for kids. 24/7 peace of mind for you. Riley Children's Health emergency doctors and nurses are in the ER around the clock at IU Health North in Carmel. Learn more at rileychildrens.org/ER.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Reinhardt Heating and Cooling? Well, find that American Standard dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I am going to run some stories by you. You break down all the information. You give us the verdict. Is the story in question anything or not?
Easy enough.
We start with this. 4 squatters were arrested at a Georgia home and charged with felonies and accused of running a strip club in the home by people in the community. Here's a neighbor talking about the squatters and what they were doing in the home, and Captain Derek Rogers talking about the arrests and charges.
It was always something going on in that house. A lot of partying. They had an illegal strip club on the weekends. They would get live horses. One day they had live horses.
All these individuals were charged with various felony crimes.
I didn't get a wink of sleep last night. There was yelling, screaming, carrying on like I don't know what.
We thought we heard sheep noises.
Is that anything?
Did you notice the 2 at the end there? By the way, those weren't neighbors. Those were the. You didn't notice that at the end? Come on.
It was always
last night. There was yelling, screaming, carrying on like I don't know what.
We thought we heard sheep noises.
What is that?
Revenge of the Nerds 2. Nerds in Paradise.
Oh God!
The straight-laced couple.
Oh,
that was complaining.
You threw some Nerds in Paradise right by me right there.
That was right over your head. I couldn't believe it. But yes.
Very rarely does a Nerds reference, not go over the fence for me, but you threw that heater by me.
Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise. Where does the horse come in on this?
Is this a thing now?
Yeah,
like, are people partying with horses now?
They shut down MLK and 17th a couple of weeks ago with street racing and horses.
Right.
Yeah, this is definitely something, and it's kind of sounded like a party I'd like to go to.
Blake, you and the horse you rode in on. But yeah, it seems like the more stories we have about parties getting a little too loose, whether it's squatters making impromptu strip clubs or action at MLK, there are horses involved.
What do you think the talent is like at a squatter strip club?
Oh, man. I don't think it's pretty. But I bet I've seen worse. Somewhere in between. I'm telling you, those towny strip clubs in a college town, because there's always 2 strip clubs. Like when I was at Ball State, there was
the fancy one.
There was a fancy one where the hot students were there, quote, putting themselves through college. But then across the street, there was like all the old towny Muncie moms.
Sure.
But they had better drink specials, and it was no cover. So
I went to this. I went to this. There's this one on the east side called the Dungeon. fun.
Oh yeah.
And me and my buddy just went in there one night as a lark, almost just to see what it was. It was worse than I thought. We sat at the bar. We didn't even go up to the stage because the chick up there was wearing white tube socks and Coca-Cola bottled thick glasses.
Okay.
And then she walked up to us after she was done. She goes, "Hey, you owe me $1. You looked at me." I go, "Here's $10. Now go away."
I tried to avoid you, and you made eye contact with me. Why don't you buy me a beer? Is this anything? Have you heard of the nickname theory?
No.
It's a way to weed out the guys that ladies have only had a few dates with. Some TikToker who posts relationship advice breaks it all down.
Nickname theory is the idea that the dumber the nickname you give the man you're dating, the less you like him. As all of us girly pops know, realistically, when you start dating a guy, you have to give him a nickname when you talk about him to your friends. If the last guy you dated was named Chase, and the next guy was Chad, and the guy after that is Craig, no one's gonna remember who's who. If you give a guy a really stupid nickname, like on your first date he told you that his favorite kind of bagel is a plain bagel with cream cheese, a serial killer's order, so you start calling him plain bagel with cream cheese guy, it's not that serious.
I'm trying to think of what my nickname would have been out of my dating phase in my 20s.
Fat ass?
I'm a little bit bigger now than I was back then. It was probably some, you mean the guy that drank too much, couldn't perform, and then threw up in your bathtub?
Oh, that guy.
That guy. What's wrong with plain bagel with cream cheese, by the way?
I hate TikTok so much. I can't stand it. I'm not on TikTok, and I can't stand the thing. Like, my wife, she scrolls through that thing sometimes.
Oh, boy.
And, she goes on there looking for coupon deals or looking for, meal prepping ideas. But every once in a while, she'll come across something stupid and make me watch it. And I can't get the minute back. Is this anything? Did you know Olive Garden sells cheese graters?
No.
Some guy bought one and loved it so much, he called it a life-changing moment.
I got to the Olive Garden. I went to the manager. All I said was, "Cheese grater?" And she looked at me and said, "Give me 1 minute." They sold me the cheese grater. Not only that, they gave me cheese to try out. Okay, you're going to put the cheese on top of the grater like this, push down, and then just turn it. Oh my goodness. They gave me so much cheese to shred. I don't think you guys understand how life-changing this is for me. I canceled all of my plans.
Yeah, something that tells me this guy that gets as excited as he does because Olive Garden sold him a cheese grater doesn't have any plans.
He was somehow available.
He was available. No, this is nothing, although I like the guy's enthusiasm. I'm glad somebody could be happy about something in this world.
But what's going to happen now is, we're not going to get service at Olive Garden because some moron is in there complaining that they wouldn't sell him a cheese grater. I've seen this firsthand at McDonald's. There was some video, of course, on TikTok where somebody said you could get birthday cakes at McDonald's. So one morning, I'm trying to get breakfast for my family. Some jagoff is in front of me in the drive-thru, upset they wouldn't sell him a cake. What do you mean you ain't got no cake? I mean, it's 7:30 in the morning. They don't sell birthday cake, you loser.
Yeah, I don't buy that Olive Garden sells its cheese graters either.
I kind of want one, though. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. We recently saved a 50-year-old couple over $300 per month when compared to their old individual plan. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 per month when compared to their quote on healthcare.gov. We are now entering the crazy enrollment season when our federal government will spend millions telling us that healthcare.gov is our only good option for quality health care. Whether it's called healthcare.gov, Affordable Care Act, or it's still Obamacare, don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. Give us a call at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. Quoting the great Dr. Duke Tomato, Lord, please help our cults. And as always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Somebody that I believe is going to be your next senator from the great state of Indiana, which I love so much, Jim Banks.
This is Donald Trump Jr. with an important message. My father and I have both endorsed Jim Banks for the United States Senate. Jim is a pro-Trump conservative, a fighter, and one of President Trump's strongest warriors against the swamp. Jim served our nation overseas in Afghanistan and will always fight to put America first. He's been a leader on securing our border, standing up to China, and ending wokeism in the military. When President Trump is back in the White House, he's going to need proven warriors fighting for the America First agenda in the U.S. Senate. So please support our good friend Jim Banks. America Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His lawyers are out. Cloudy, 55 degrees in downtown Indy. Scattered showers on your radar, low of 51 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31 inside of a courtroom in Fort Wayne this afternoon.
We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen.
Special Judge Francis Gall announced today Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen no longer has a legal team. His attorneys intend to step away, which ended today's hearing in less than 5 minutes. A new hearing's been scheduled for Halloween. Gall says the January trial date will also have to be moved. You might remember a former Greenwood police officer who was found dead at a park October 8th. His cause and manner of death were released today. John Herrick reports.
The cause of death, acute asthma exacerbation. The manner of death, natural, says the Johnson County coroner Mike Pruitt. Pruitt says that man, Zane Hennig, experienced a medical emergency on his way to an early morning deer hunt. He pulled into Craig Park that day to treat himself with prescribed medications after having an asthma attack, but he ended up dying. Hennig was a U.S. Army veteran who won several medals. He resigned from the Greenwood Police Department in August after he was accused of violating the department's technology use policy. Hennig was 27. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
House Republican Jim Jordan has a few people in mind he'd like to talk to.
I plan to go to the floor and get the votes and win this race, but I want to go talk with a few of my colleagues. Particularly, I want to talk with the 20 individuals who voted against me.
Jordan wants to become the next Speaker of the House, but hasn't gotten enough support through 2 votes. He needs 217 to get the gavel. President Joe Biden plans to speak from the Oval Office tonight about wars in both Israel and Ukraine. His speech is scheduled for 8 p.m. You can listen to it live on WIBC. Your stock report today, the Dow dropped by 250 points to 33,414. The NASDAQ down by 128 to 13,186. And the S&P 500 fell by 36, closing Thursday at 4,278. You've got traffic and weather in 60 seconds. Your time is 4:33.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. Tony Katz here. And if you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. No more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. With demand so strong, they are expanding their hours at QC Kinetics to include Saturday appointments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic at 434, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, this is a crash on the off-ramp from westbound 465 to Keystone Avenue. Ramp is open but partially blocked. Also a crash westbound as 72 465 on the east side. That's the east side version. Inbound 65 stop and go 29 to Meridian Penn. Eastbound as 70 slow to downtown from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. On the northwest side, northbound is 65 stop and go traffic from 465 up to 71st Street. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Partly cloudy afternoon will lead to a cloudy evening with an occasional shower or two overnight. Low temperature near 54 degrees. Winds out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 50%. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis, 493 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the WIBC hotline.
Indiana State Senator Jack Sandlin passed away on September 20th. He had represented District 36 since he was elected back in 2016. After his passing, the Republicans had to find somebody to fill his seat. That seat has been filled by Cindy Carrasco, and she joins us. Cindy, welcome back to the Hammer and Nigel Show. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm so thankful for being back with you guys. This is great.
Before we get started, just tell us a little bit about State Senator Sandlin. And I know you guys were friends, what kind of person he was. I know he's beloved within the community there.
Yeah, he was just an absolutely wonderful individual. And, you know, I'll tell you that Senator Sandlin and I really got a chance to forge a relationship in large part because of my run for prosecutor. I remember, last year he came to my first kickoff event, was incredibly supportive and said, go get him. And, you know, I was humbled. State Senator was coming to support me, and I thought this is great. But his support didn't just stop there. He was supportive the entire campaign. And in fact, you know, almost a year ago, I remember him coming again to another event. He said, just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And so, you know, I learned about his passing, and I really thought to myself, you know, what could I do to really thank Jack for his support and, you know, carry on his legacy, and you know, thought long and hard. And here I am today, hopeful that I will be able to carry on his legacy as a strong voice in the Indiana Senate.
Now, you are filling out the remaining portion of his term, which is until November of 2024. I know you just took over this role, but what is next for you? Like, do you want to initiate some of your own things here, or is this about what is best, what was on the agenda for Senator Sandlin?
Well, it's a great question. All of this, you know, obviously is happening under, you know, very unfortunate circumstances. The loss of Senator Sandlin is, you know, something that was completely unexpected. And, you know, filling the vacancy is something that happened really, really quick. What I can say is I was 100% focused on, you know, last night's caucus, worked really, really hard, and, you know, it was a great outcome. I'm focused on making the transition. And then, as you just mentioned, the term ends, you know, at the end of next year. So immediately, I'm gearing up for a race.
Okay, so you're going to run for re-election after the end of this term.
That's right. That's right.
Now, you mentioned earlier, Cindy, that obviously you ran for the prosecutor here in Marion County. So I know that law and order is a big deal with you. Just last week, we had on the superintendent of the Indiana State Police, and he mentioned he wants to speak to some lawmakers, Indiana State lawmakers, about some sort of way to have oversight over some of these ridiculous judges, some of these very soft prosecutors. Is that a conversation you would be willing to have with the Indiana State Police superintendent?
You know, I am very much about having conversations with anyone who wants to have a conversation about improving public safety. You guys know me. You were kind enough to, allow me the opportunity to talk about my passion for improving public safety in our city, in our community, all of last year. So you know exactly that is one of my top priorities. If people have ideas, I am absolutely all ears. I want to make a difference. I don't take this charge lightly. I want to make sure that every single moment that I have the opportunity to fill this vacancy that Senator Sandlin left is used to the maximum potential.
Speaking with State Senator Cindy Carrasco here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Take us back. One of the things Hammer and I always talked about during your run for prosecutor is that how you ran a great campaign. It was really, really well done. It didn't work out for you in the end. I'm just wondering if, just curious if there's anything you look back now and say, maybe I should have done this different, things would have turned out another way.
I spent a lot of time thinking about that last night, and things worked out the way that they needed to work out. I spent a year of my life working really, really, really hard, connecting with voters in Marion County, developing relationships, and I kept those relationships up because throughout my campaign, I told people, listen, I very much care about my community. I love our city. I love being a part of, of this community, and I want to improve it. And, when I called up folks as I was talking to them for this particular run, they said, this is a great opportunity for you to be able to look at what was your passion in the prosecutor's race, but with a wider lens and scope to be able to make change. And that's exciting, you guys. That's incredibly exciting.
Cindy, you talk about making change. How comfortable do you feel maybe going against some of your fellow Republicans here? Because one of the things that we talk about a lot here is that the Indiana Republicans, who are in charge, basically supermajority in the state of Indiana, are also behind taxing the bejesus out of us, Cindy, from property taxes to gas taxes and everything in between. Do you feel comfortable going against some of your fellow Republicans saying, oh, by the way, we're hearing from our constituents that they're tired of overpaying and they're tired of hearing about this surplus we have because we're being overtaxed?
Listen, I've had some really, really interesting conversations in these past 2 weeks with people of Senate District 36, and certainly that is very much a concern that's been expressed as, hey, where are we going as a state with taxes? It's been an issue that we've talked about at length, and I'm very comfortable with having conversations. I'm laser focused on making sure that I am an effective voice in the legislature, and we're not going to agree on everything.
Right.
I go into that, very much knowing we're not going to agree on all issues, but I do that there are common areas where we can agree on to move the needle forward, and I'm going to be laser focused on that. So I'd love to have conversations but I am going to be laser focused on being an effective legislator to make sure that the views and beliefs of the people of Senate District 36 are heard loud and clear.
You are currently serving as the Vice President and General Counsel at the University of Indianapolis. That's where my oldest son attends. Are you going to maintain that role, or is this something you have to step away from with your current duties?
Well, first of all, go Hounds. No, I'm very much planning to stay here. This is a wonderful place to be able to, you know me, I'm about making change, and what better way to make change for the future. Students are here, and they are just incredibly welcoming, and I love it here. So I will continue my role as Vice President and General Counsel here at the university.
Well, you're going to have to promise to show up to one of Hammer's kids' bowling matches.
Yes, absolutely. New Indiana State Senator Cindy Carrasco. Cindy, as always, we appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Thank you both.
All right, Big Nige, coming up next, just for you on your return day back to work, we've got a round of fun facts for kids.
Oh, no.
Something for the younger listeners to enjoy.
No.
That's coming up next.
Paid for by John Rust for U.S. Senate. Next year, Indiana Republicans will have the choice to pick our next U.S. Senator. But if it's up to Mitch McConnell and the D.C. swamp, we'll have no choice. The Washington elite and political insiders are trying to rig this election for their hand-picked career politician ally, Jim Banks. That's why conservative businessman and Indiana farmer John Rust has stepped up to fight for us. As a lifelong conservative, John believes we need an outsider's voice that's focused on Hoosiers. John Rust is committed to fighting the woke liberal mob, defending seniors by protecting Social Security, and creating an economy that works for middle-class families, not DC insiders. While Jim Banks and Mitch McConnell are focused on keeping power for themselves, John Rust is focused on putting Indiana first. Career politicians like Jim Banks are always talking about solving problems. But we can trust businessmen like John Rust to actually get the job done.
I'm U.S. Senate candidate John Rust, and I approve this message.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family heating and air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hi, I'm Joe Wrights, former Colts offensive lineman.
And I'm Jill Wrights. Traumatic brain injury is so sad and so life-changing.
That's why we support a groundbreaking organization building a better future for adults living with a TBI.
Vilici was founded right here in Indiana, but what we are doing will affect families around the country, families struggling to support and lift up their loved one after a life-changing head injury.
Go to braininjury.me, that's braininjury.me.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's our 96th anniversary, and we're having a sale. Save 50% off Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers, plus 3 years interest-free financing or an extra 10% off for cash. Get a free Yeti cooler or Solo stove with a Tempur-Pedic purchase and up to 4 years interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic. It's our 96th anniversary sale only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, now through Monday.
Every dollar matters when it comes to Medicare coverage. When you enroll with MDY's Medicare, our low-cost plans give you access to over 27,000 in-network providers. $0 primary care copay with no deductibles, plus a generous OTC allowance. Call 833-248-3906 or go to mdwise.org/MDY's Medicare. Enroll by December 7th. MDY's Medicare is an HMO/HMO POS with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in MDY's Medicare depends on contract renewal.
Need a new furnace or air conditioner? Call the professionals from B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains.
Just go to B+W.com. B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra on December 26th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Go to WIBC.com for more info.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, northbound 465 on the northwest side, slowing down 86th Street up to 865, and now southbound at 65 stop-and-go traffic after State Road 267 down to the Dogleg. Westbound to 465 northeast side, crash on the ramp to Keystone Avenue. Northbound 465 slows in Lawrence before Penn Pike, and then inbound 65 stop-and-go 29th to Meridian Penn. Watch out for East at Hannah, crash there. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
57 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. Hello. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there.
Good to have you back, man.
Yeah, man. It's good to be back.
How was Florida? How'd the fam enjoy Florida?
The first part of the week was hot, humid, and the waves were huge because it was really windy. My kids loved it. They stayed in the ocean for hours and hours, which meant that I had to stay in the ocean for hours and hours. It's good exercise.
But you got to spend time with the kids, though, and that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Because, man, sometimes on this program, and we get, lectures all the time from our bosses and consultants that our show sometimes is too adult heavy.
I agree, yeah.
And we sometimes ignore the younger listeners of this program, the kids.
Sure.
The children are the future, as Randy Watson and Whitney Houston both said. So every once in a while on this show, we try to appeal to the younger listeners of the Hammer and Nigel show with a segment we call Fun Facts for Kids.
Oh, no.
It's time for Hammer and Nigel's Fun Facts for Kids.
These are real pieces of information that the youngsters of this program can enjoy. Like this. At least 189 decomposing bodies have been removed from the Return to Nature funeral home in Colorado.
Okay.
Authorities found that more than 115 human remains were being improperly stored on the property, according to a statement from the sheriff's office in Colorado. Meaning, kids, if your grandma or grandpa dies, there's a chance that some punk is desecrating their body without your family looking on.
Fun Facts for Kids.
I'm not sure the title of this segment is called Fun Facts for Kids, but yet you use the words decomposing bodies.
Kids, do you like animals? Did you know that female kangaroos have 3 vaginas and a male alligator has a permanent erection?
Fun Facts for Kids.
There's absolutely no way any child should be listening to that.
These are all true facts. You can look these up. Exploding head syndrome is a scientific anomaly that causes people to hear extremely loud noises in their head.
Loud noises!
Right before they fall asleep. So remember, kids, if you get woken up from night terrors, or if you wake up with a horrifying scream, there are 2 possible outcomes. It's exploding head syndrome, or you're being possessed by the devil.
Fun Facts for Kids.
Oh, man. One night, my 9-year-old down in Florida slept with Lindsay. So I went and slept in her bed, She got scared or something. In the middle of the night, my 9-year-old just sits up in bed and stares.
Oh.
Like wakes my wife up. And like for 30 seconds, like she kept on waiting for her to lie back down. But she was, Harper, what are you doing? And then she started speaking in tongues like
vomiting. The condition occurs when the bowel is obstructed for some reason and the intestines push the waste back up and out of the mouth instead. Fecal vomiting is very, very rare, but it can happen to kids just like you.
Fun Facts for Kids.
I think that actually made the kids in our audience laugh. That was a good one. Anything to do with fecal vomiting at the same time.
Aztec priests believed that tears of children could stop droughts. Aztec followers believed in the power of human sacrifice, and many of their rituals included sacrificing women and children to serve their sun god. So when they experienced drought, Aztec priests sacrificed children because they believed their tears could call on the rain. So remember, kids, if you or your parents think global warming is real, you could be killed for the sake of climate change.
Fun facts for kids.
Really not anything I'm comfortable with.
All true pieces of information.
None of this segment at all.
Top stories next.
After our investigation on Indianapolis Animal Care Services aired, our viewers asked us to dive deeper into animal welfare. Fox 59's Angela Ganote went searching for that answer.
Viewers and volunteers are frustrated that a proposed new animal care facility has not been built. Too many cats and dogs are being euthanized.
They don't focus enough on adoptions. They don't focus enough on rescues. And they just put whatever energy that they have into euthanizing dogs.
What we have today, from an animal care services standpoint, is simply shameful.
If Joe Hogsett was a good mayor, we'd have the new animal shelter he announced. Instead, an empty lot. If he cared, he'd have done the job after the cameras left. If Joe Hogsett was up to the job, whistleblowers' calls would have been answered. Instead, euthanasia. Joe Hogsett's had 8 years as mayor. You know about the crime and the roads and the overdoses. But it turns out Joe's failed them, too. It's time for a change.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
It's time to get in the tailgating spirit, Indiana. Take a little trip this football season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 1,000 vehicles. Chevy, Ford, GMC, Buick, Nissan, Acura, Mazda, Honda, and many more. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Get in the tailgating spirit, Indiana, because Hubler's got you covered this football season for 100,000 miles. So what drives Indiana? DriveHubler.com. For over 1,000 vehicles, visit any of our 12 locations. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. You may be aware that online crime is a huge threat. But did you know this problem could be a great career opportunity for you? Cybersecurity experts are in high demand and well paid. You can position yourself for this specialty in months, not years, at My Computer Career, even with no prior IT experience. Learn how you can train for this rewarding career at mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Darius, look who just figured out how to find my Medicare plan options. Just typed in my zip code and boom.
This is not just a search tool. Look at you go, Mom. This is Walgreens making it easy to find a Medicare plan with low-cost copays. During open enrollment, use Walgreens Find RX coverage to help you find the right Medicare plan for you. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Get ready, Indiana. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Indiana, trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Hammer Nigel here for Window Nation. Fall is the best time of the year. There's so much to love about the fall, especially the return of Window Nation's best offer of the year. Get 2 windows free for every 2 you buy. Put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 2 years. If your old windows are hard to open and close or drafty and leaky, take care of it now before the cold weather arrives. You'll be loving the new look and feel of your home, plus up to 30% off your energy bills.
You'll also love Window Nation's knowledgeable exterior designs and quick, clean, accurate, professional installation. Not to mention, you'll love the savings with this fantastic offer. Put no money down, no payments, no interest for 2 full years. And for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows for free. But this offer will disappear as fast as the leaves on your maple tree. Call Window Nation right now. 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Every dollar matters when it comes to Medicare coverage. When you enroll with MDY's Medicare, our low-cost plans give you access to over 27,000 in-network providers, $0 primary care copay with no deductibles, plus a generous OTC allowance. Call 833-248-3906 or go to mdwise.org/MDY's Medicare. Enroll by December 7th. MDY's Medicare is an HMO/HMO POS with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in MDY's Medicare depends on contract renewal.
When was the last time you practiced your home fire escape plan? Be sure everyone in your family knows what to do if there's a fire. Get out, stay out. It's your fire safe response.
There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Changing the way Indy thinks about concrete.
Coming up in 2 minutes, why Richard Allen needs some new attorneys. There was a police shooting at a Speedway gas station this morning, and how Indy DPW is already preparing for winter weather. John Herrick will have that story. All that and more is coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Deterrence in the Middle East. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Pentagon says the U.S. military will remain vigilant to potential threats.
We have the capability to defend our broader interests in the region and to deter regional escalation and broader expansion of the conflict that began with Hamas's attack on Israeli civilians on October 7th.
This as Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder confirms that a U.S. warship in the Red Sea intercepted missiles and drones fired by Iran-backed rebels in Yemen. No casualties reported. 3 hours from now at 8 Eastern, President Biden will address the nation, making the case for continued support of key allies a day after visiting Israel.
What we are hearing from officials in the West Wing is that the focus is going to be more on conflicts in Ukraine and in Israel and explaining why those fights might not be as far away as they seem.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. The president preparing to ask Congress for an aid package that could total $100 billion, also including money for border security. The latest plan to get the House back in business appears to be off.
An emerging proposal would have expanded powers of the Speaker pro tem, North Carolina Republican Patrick McHenry. But that plan appears dead after an hours-long meeting between House Republicans.
We made the pitch to members on the resolution as a way to lower the temperature and get back to work. We decided that wasn't where we're going to go.
Ohio Republican Jim Jordan instead says he intends to stay in the Speaker's race despite falling short of the required votes twice this week. He has been meeting with holdouts and says a third vote for Speaker could come later today.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. A federal judge just ruling that conspiracy theorist Alex Jones cannot use his personal bankruptcy case to avoid paying defamation verdicts stemming from his lies about the Sandy Hook school massacre. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why they have to reschedule. Cloudy, 58 degrees on the circle. The rain to the north and east of downtown Indy, low of 51 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The Delphi murders case will not go on trial in January. Donnie Burgess reports.
Thursday's court hearing lasted less than 5 minutes. Special Judge Fran Gall told a room full of news media that Richard Allen's legal team has resigned from the case.
They have confirmed with the court that Mr. Allen's financial situation remains static, meaning he is continuing to be entitled to appointed counsel.
A court date is set for October 31st. Allen's now previous legal team was accused of leaking evidence. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The former Greenwood police officer who was found dead in a park October 8th died from an asthma attack, says the Johnson County coroner. Zane Hennig had resigned from the department after accusations of violating Greenwood PD's technology use policy. IMPD identified the man they shot this morning at a Speedway gas station. Lieutenant Shade Foley says Antoine Beach, a convicted drug dealer, had warrants for violating his probation.
Beach allegedly reached for the gun, and one officer discharged his department-issued firearm, striking Beach.
Beach is in stable condition. Foley says they'll take a look at the body cam footage. You're not worried about snow or ice just yet, but Indy DPW says they're ready for winter. John Herrick reports.
One thing that helps is that there are almost 40 new employees with the Indianapolis Department of Public Works that have gotten commercial driver's licenses, says the department's director, Brandon Herget.
CDLs are hard to come by. It's an issue across industries, and certainly Indy DPW has faced challenges in that regard.
He says snowplow drivers will now go through practice runs to make sure they know where potential hazards are or where snow can easily hide after it falls, like sharp curves. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.27. That's according to GasBuddy.com. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. We recently saved a 50-year-old couple over $300 per month when compared to their old individual plan. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 per month when compared to their quote on healthcare.gov. We are now entering the crazy enrollment season when our federal government will spend millions telling us that healthcare.gov is our only good option for quality health care. Whether it's called healthcare.gov, Affordable Care Act, or it's still Obamacare, don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. Give us a call at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. Quoting the great Dr. Duke Tomato, Lord, please help our Colts. And as always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
With traffic in the 5s at 5:05, how are the roads, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, coming down from the boon, it is slow right now. Southbound 65 from 267 down to the Dogleg 865. Southbound 65 to downtown, stop and go traffic. MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slow into downtown from Belmont. Also south side eastbound 465 slow in pockets on eastbound 465 from I-70 over to Harding. And again, 31 over to Emerson Avenue. East side southbound 465 stop and go traffic from 70 down to 74. Crash south side Madison Avenue at Hannah and 1 downtown Illinois at McCarty. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. After a car wreck, it can feel like you're living in a horror show. Don't let insurance company make you feel like you're living in a scary movie. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com. Happy Halloween from The Hammer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We're looking mostly cloudy as we move into Thursday evening with light rain most likely active on and off overnight. Low temperature near 51 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday morning we still have a few showers, but we'll dry out later. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Junior Studis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. I'm assuming you've got the keg on ice, the wings, getting ready for the smoker for tonight's presidential primetime address at 8 o'clock, Hammer?
I guess.
I didn't hear the enthusiasm I usually hear from when these kinds of things happen.
I mean, you know how it's going to play out, right? Joe Biden's going to stand there. He's going to squint into the teleprompter. He's going to say a few things wrong. His mouth's going to be open, and then he's going to shuffle off defeated to the side.
Will he cough? We should have done a bingo card for tonight. I don't know if bingo card is worthy for tonight, but he's going to cough into his hand.
Oh, yeah. He's going to cough, maybe even sneeze. I don't know. But Joe Biden speaking about the war in Israel and Ukraine tonight at 8 o'clock. If you can't be around a television or you just don't want to be around a television to see him, you can hear it here on this radio station, 8 p.m. here at 93 WIBC. And honestly, Nige, I feel like the speech he gave in Israel is probably going to be the same thing we hear tonight.
But I caution this: while you feel that rage, don't be consumed by it. After 9/11, we were enraged in the United States. While we sought justice and got justice, we also made mistakes. I'm the first U.S. president to visit Israel in time of war. I've made wartime decisions. I know the choices are never clear or easy for the leadership. There's always cost, but it requires being deliberate. It requires asking very hard questions. It requires clarity about the objectives and an honest assessment about whether the path you're on will achieve those objectives.
Yeah, I think I'd be filled and overcome with rage if I saw my family slaughtered on Facebook. If a Hamas terrorist was streaming the murder of my baby, I'd be outraged. Don't be telling me. Don't tell me how to not to be consumed by rage.
Right.
Or especially the victims, especially Israel.
And this talk of ceasefire, right? We talked about this earlier, but it's easy to say we should cease fire after there's been an attack. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to go up to Mike Tyson and punch him in the face and then say, hey, ceasefire. No, there's a retaliation coming, and we know what it's going to look like, and it's going to be gruesome, and it's going to be horrific because war is gruesome and horrific.
And I would say channel that rage if you are in the Israeli military. Channel that rage to Hamas in the Gaza Strip.
Joe Biden tonight is going to say, we stand with Israel, but we are also giving $100 million to the Gaza Strip, which is ran by Hamas, the same people who perpetrated this attack.
Hold on. That's for humanitarian purposes. Hammer.
Okay. Got it. We know where that money's going to go. And it's not going anywhere that's going to be productive. The children, the injured, the sick, they're not going to see penny one of your money.
I mean, these are the same people. This money's going to the same people that used its own people, the Gazans, as human shields. The reason why they wouldn't let Gazans leave and Israel warned them to leave is because they wanted that footage of innocent civilians killed by Israeli attacks.
The same people who have hostages, including American hostages.
The same people are going to use that money we just gave them for humanitarian aid. Okay.
Do you think tonight Joe Biden will try to say, listen, we've got to send more aid packages. We're having a big single bill. We're going to help Israel and also Ukraine. Because he knows the amount of people who are getting frustrated with Ukraine funding is growing by the day. But if he tries to piggyback it with helping the United States ally, an actual ally in Israel, maybe he can try to sneak a fast one by people. So either way, you can hear that tonight, 8 o'clock. You can listen to it on 93 WIBC. And to get you in the mood of what you may hear, here's another edition of Great Moments in Presidential Speeches. Great Moments in Presidential Speeches.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
You ain't black.
Great moments in presidential speeches. Oh. He's a statesman. Get ready tonight, Bal, 8 p.m. Looking at a couple different polls here, Nige. So if it's just Donald Trump against Joe Biden, Donald Trump right now leads Joe Biden in 5 of the 7 key swing states.
That's how it's what you always say. It's not these national polls, it's these state polls that are important.
Now, this is without RFK Jr. on the ballot, but Morning Consult and Bloomberg swing state polling shows Trump up 5 percentage points on Biden in Georgia, up 4% on Biden in Arizona, 2% in Wisconsin, 1% in Pennsylvania, and 4% in North Carolina. It's a dead heat in Michigan, and Joe Biden leads by 3 points in Nevada from this Morning Consult poll. Now, again, that does not include RFK. But the national NPR NewsHour Marist poll does include RFK Jr.
Well, the number's slightly different.
So here's the thing. This is not a state-by-state poll. It's one of those national polls, which I hate with the passion of a million fires because it doesn't matter nationally. It matters in the states. But take it for what it is. This poll, conducted on October 11th through phone, text, and online interviews of 1,300 U.S. adults, show that with RFK Jr. in the race, Joe Biden beats Donald Trump because RFK Jr. pulling more votes away from the people who were prepared to hold their nose and vote for Donald Trump because they hate Joe Biden's policies so much. Biden won 44% in this poll compared to 37% with Donald Trump and 16%. And this is why I think this poll is ridiculous. 16% for RFK Jr. I'm sorry. A lot of people might say they're voting third party in the election, but when the rubber meets the road and they go back there and they put that name on the ballot, 16% are not voting third party. I just don't see that happening.
Even though it's a Kennedy, this isn't some weirdo third party candidate or independent. This is RFK Jr.
Yeah, man, I can see him doing better than most. I really can. But 16%, that is a big number. And it's a national poll, not state polling. So I'm not even really taking this poll with anything at all. Speaking of Donald Trump, MSNBC's host Rachel Maddow, she jumped on The View. Now, you were telling me about this, Nigel, because you watch The View every day.
Or DVR it, yeah. I now watch it instead of where I used to watch Tucker.
You sit down with a nice stiff cocktail, and you can't wait for those horrible women to start yapping. MSNBC host Rachel Maddow was on The View, and she warned that a second stint in the White House for Donald Trump, if he wins in 2024, could be dangerous for the free press because he wants to execute them.
He's basically portraying a future for America if he is put back in the White House in which we don't have another election after.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the elections are all rigged, that the democratic process can't be trusted, that Congress should just work for him, the Justice Department should just work for him. That's a strongman form of government. That's not what we have.
He'd cancel the news, like the news are done.
He wants to put MSNBC on trial for treason so that he can execute us.
Good God, the amount of stupidity on that show.
Can you say hyperbole? He wants to execute us. What did she say at the beginning?
He's basically portraying a future for America if he is put back in the White House in which we don't have another election after.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the elections are all rigged, that the democratic process...
Elections are all... The Democrats said the elections were rigged in 2016.
Hakeem Jeffries is the biggest election denier out there, and he gets more votes to be Speaker of the House than anybody. So you mentioned the word hyperbole with Rachel Maddow earlier. Yes. I think that's a great segue for great moments in Rachel Maddow history.
There's no such thing.
Who could forget the bombshell of Donald Trump's taxes?
We've got some significant breaking news tonight. Again, tonight we are breaking news. Donald Trump's tax returns. What we have are these 2 pages.
That's the best. It's like his 1042s from 95 or something like that.
Like the cover letter of something he faxed.
Even that late night talk show host roasted her for that.
Rachel Maddow, very upset about children in cages.
The AP has just broken some new news. This has just come out from the Associated Press. This is incredible. Trump administration officials have been sending babies and other young children. Hold on. To at least 3. Can we put up the graphic of this? 3 tender age shelters in South Texas. Lawyers and medical providers just... I think I'm going to have to hand this off.
Okay. Stop it right there.
She could replace Trump's name with Obama right there, and she might be a little more accurate.
Right. That's who built the cages. And Joe Biden and Barack Obama signed off on it. And honestly, right now, it'd be a hell of a lot safer than what's happening to these kids at the border between drowning in the rivers and the human trafficking. And last but not least, great moments in Rachel Maddow history. Apparently, she became Dr. Rachel Maddow.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
Narrator, but it didn't stop with every vaccinated person. All right, Matt Baer, he has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer coming down from Boone County. That's southbound 65 with slow traffic from Lebanon exit 138 all the way down to the Dogleg 865. East side, a crash on the ramp from northbound 465 to eastbound 70. The ramp is open. It is partially blocked. Eastbound 72 downtown, stop and go. Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 slow to come in from 29th to Meridian Penn. That's a crash south side, Madison Avenue at Hannah. Another one downtown Illinois at McCarty. Traffic sponsored by Meijer. This week at Meijer, save $10 on next week's in-store purchase with coupon printed at checkout when you spend $100 or more on your total purchase today. Redeemable through October 28th. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
57 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Just got my son's new queen-size bed delivered by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. He loves it, and the best part is delivery is free. Most of these other places charge you $100, $200 for delivery. Not with Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. They've got a huge 96-year anniversary sale going on right now. Mattresses, love seats, sofas, the big green egg, it's all on sale.
Located in Columbus, and it's been owned and operated by the same family since 1927. Thompson Furniture and Mattress. Get an amazing deal on an awesome Tempur-Pedic mattress. And what I love is they still have free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store. These guys support what we do at the Hammer and Nigel show. So next time you need a couch or a love seat or a mattress, take care of these guys. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Rob, I have a question for you.
Yes, Casey.
Did you know the Social Security Trust Fund is now scheduled to run out of money in just 10 years?
Why, yes, I did, Casey, because our politicians are awful and dishonest with the public. And, well, we talk about that all the time on this show.
This news could dramatically change how and when you file for your benefits.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could wring every stinking nickel out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. This free analysis pinpoints exactly how you could get the most income from Social Security while considering your taxes, IRA, and 401k withdrawals, and spousal benefits.
If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis by calling 317-932-9912. Save yourself a ton of time and avoid making a critical mistake. Call 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Did you know you can experience the ultimate rejuvenation with our unique hot tubs made right here in Indianapolis? Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs compatible with Epsom salts. Imagine the tensions melting away as you step into the luxury of a Royal Spa hot tub. And now is a great time to invest in your rejuvenation. We built our inventory back up and now have new models, scratch and dents, and even demos ready for delivery. Experience the difference for yourself. Visit us online at royalspa.com.
Royal Spa. You can save up to $270 on Cooper truck tires at Tire Discounters. We love trucks. Hey, sir, nice truck. Yeah, that's Herbert. Ah, you named him. Oh, yeah. Has Herbert ever been to Tire Discounters? Oh, yeah, man, he loves it here.
Herbert's told you he likes Tire Discounters.
Well, not in so many words, but every time we drive by, he turns on the turn signal.
Oh, you're playing with me now.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, did you hear about the deal we have going on Cooper truck tires?
Up to $270 off.
How'd you know?
Herbert told me.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Got an emergency on the weekend? We're here for you at B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains.
Just go to bplusw.com. B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, some recent college graduate chick. She's going viral on TikTok because she's upset that a $200,000 a year marketing jobs, they're going to people with more experience.
I have a bone to pick with America! So I'm headed to my serving job. I fucking hate it. Tell me why I make more money serving. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. And I make more serving sushi rolls because I've been applying to marketing jobs for weeks now. And the pay cut is insane. Insane. But the jobs that are like a cute $150,000 to $200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday soon, almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate ass America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience!
Are you okay with this?
God. Well, this video will certainly have all the Fortune 500 companies lining up to have her sign on the dotted line. No, I'm not okay with this because her saying the degree was the experience. No, I think we figured out why she can't get hired. She's an idiot. The degree was the education. Actual work is the experience. Just do what everybody else does in the business world. Get your foot in the door, make magic happen, be a kick-ass worker, and work your way up to the top.
Well, we did.
Right. We used to do crappy, horrible weekend shows. Now we do a crappy afternoon show.
I started in this business by playing Sandy Patty and Stephen Curtis Chapman on WXIR, the Christian radio station, in 1994, and things have certainly changed.
Right.
I got my foot in the door and worked my way up. I love how she said she took a pay cut. You have to make $200,000 before you actually take a pay cut.
Right. You don't have a job in marketing, so you don't get to declare the top of the food chain in marketing. Like, I love she just expects a $200,000 a year job to go to her because she's fresh out of college. Meanwhile, some dude who's got a resume incredibly long that's been doing stuff in marketing is like, well, how do I compete with her? I mean, she just graduated college.
Actor Burt Young passed away at 83, best known for playing Rocky Balboa's degenerate brother-in-law, Paulie, in the Rocky movies. He served a tour of duty in the U.S. Marines and was an avid boxer before trying his hand at acting. R.I.P. Burt Young. Are you okay with this?
No, man, I hate this because he was one of the great character actors, and he kind of played the same role in pretty much everything he was in.
Tough guy role.
Right. Yeah. He has more than 160 credits to his acting resume, but again, his real name was Gerald DeLuise, and he was 17-0 as a professional boxer.
No kidding.
32-2 as a boxer in the Marine Corps, and after he got out of the service, he decided to try acting. And again, Paulie, the degenerate brother-in-law, is probably his signature role.
The kind of drunk, cigar smoking, always wears a wife beater, has a 5 o'clock shadow kind of guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And he played kind of a similar role in a lot of things. The role of Thornton Mellon's bodyguard in the Rodney Dangerfield movie Back to School.
Come here, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
What? You were pretty hard on your father last night.
Oh, I know, but the guy doesn't understand,
Yeah, I know your pop 30 years. He understands. He's a nice guy. And he's tough. Like me. I'm nice and I'm tough. Huh? I'll give you an idea what I mean. My two boys, I put one through college and the other I put through a wall.
I love that movie. He was great in that movie as a character actor.
He was the fake limo driver that pulled up that said Bruce Springsteen so the line would clear out and beat up some college punks in the movie. I loved it. Was also in Chinatown with Jack Nicholson. The trucker movie Convoy. He was a Pigpen. But yeah, Paulie is the role. And I got to thinking about this. I was texting with Rob Kendall last night when this story broke. Who's on the Mount Rushmore of crappy brothers in movies? And that counts because he's the brother-in-law in Rocky, but it was Adrian's brother. Crappy brothers in movies. This is my list, okay? Fredo from The Godfather.
Definitely crappy.
Bob Valenzuela from La Bamba. Richie Valens' brother Bob, who was always ticked off that he didn't get the attention, and he dug in the trash, and he drew cartoons, and he was a pain in the ass. Bob Valenzuela.
Okay.
Scar from The Lion King, the a-hole brother.
Oh, no.
And Chet from Weird Science.
Dude, buttwad. How about a nice, greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray? Hey, that looks pretty good. Now make yourself one. Weed.
That is my Mount Rushmore of
That's wonderful.
degenerate brothers in movies. Hit us up at Hammer and Nigel. Let us know who is on your list. All right. Rob Kendall, Mr. Brownsburg. He is in the hallway. He's drinking Red Bull. He's ripping his shirt off like Hulk Hogan. He's ready to go off the rails. He joins us right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The hearing was quick. 58 and cloudy downtown. Rain east of Indianapolis and the radar low temperatures drop to the lower 50s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Inside of a courtroom in Fort Wayne this afternoon.
We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen.
Special Judge Francis Gall announced today Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen no longer has a legal team. His attorneys chose to step away, which ended today's hearing in less than 5 minutes. A new hearing has been scheduled for Halloween. Gall says the January trial date is also going to have to be rescheduled. Acute asthma exacerbation is considered to be the cause of death for a man who used to be a Greenwood cop. John Herrick reports.
The Johnson County coroner said Thursday that Zane Hennig had a medical emergency when he was on his way to a deer hunt October 8th. He tried to treat it with prescribed medications, but ended up dying in the parking lot of Craig Park. Your airways become swollen when acute exacerbation happens. Hennig was 27 years old. He was also one of 3 officers who resigned after being accused of violating the Greenwood Police Department's information technology use policy. He earned several medals, though, during his time in the U.S. Army. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The plan to have interim Speaker Patrick McHenry keep that role until January likely won't happen.
We decided that wasn't where we're going to go. I'm still running for Speaker.
Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan told reporters this afternoon he plans to go to the floor for a third time and try to get the 217 votes he needs to become Speaker of the House. President Biden will speak from the Oval Office tonight.
We're told that the speech for President Biden is going to try to make the wars in Israel and Ukraine matter to people who don't think that it necessarily matters much here in the U.S.
Fox's Peter Ducey on what to expect. The speech starts at 8 p.m. You can listen live on WIBC. Training for Indianapolis public workers drivers to get ready for this winter has been a priority for the city of Indianapolis. The department's director, Brandon Herget, is thankful for that.
Celebrating the fact that the council unanimously passed a budget on Monday that increased funding for that training program next year, so we're excited about the opportunity for next year as well.
Herget says they've had almost 40 drivers get their CDLs, which has allowed them to be ready to plow the roads quickly if it snows. And with a look at the roads at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at northbound 465 on the northwest side. Stop and go traffic before 86th Street up to 865. It's downtown where we are stop and go. Inbound 65 from the White River down to Meridian Penn. Southbound 6570 loaded up in the main park from the north split down to Washington Street. Eastbound 72 downtown slow. Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Crash downtown Illinois at McCarty. One on the south side, Madison Avenue at Hannah. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We're looking mostly cloudy as we move into Thursday evening with light rain most likely active on and off overnight. Low temperature near 51 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday morning we still have a few showers, but we'll dry out later. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Bruno Studis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall.
Noise pollution.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, also joining us live in studio. Rob Kendall, here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, as always, to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis. And Nige, it's nice to see you again.
Hey, thanks. Good to be back, man. So tonight, President Poopy Pants is making an address. He is addressing the nation from the Oval Office, fresh off his trip from Israel. Is this tailgate worthy for you? Are we all fired up about this address? What do you think?
Well, what did he say yesterday? I mean, it was so offensive. He told Hamas they better aim better. Wasn't that what he said?
He was trying to mock the fact that their errant missile hit the hospital, and he was trying to be cute and say, well, they need to aim better because they hit the hospital.
Oh, wait, so we're acknowledging now that it was Hamas that hit the hospital and not the Israelis?
We always have been.
Yeah.
Now, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, that's a little different.
Don't you love that Hamas, it has now been proven that Hamas is a source for American media companies, and they run with information, some of them based on what Hamas tells them?
Dude, the headlines in yesterday's Washington Post and Wall Street Journal looked like headlines written by the leader of Hamas.
It's not unbelievable. It's totally believable. But yet, okay, so, look, Biden is not a funny guy. There's nothing humorous about him.
I like it when he falls.
Well, that is, I guess, let me phrase that. Biden is never intentionally funny. And certainly talking about whether it did hit the hospital, whether it just hit the parking lot, whether it killed 500 or it killed 5 or whatever. None of that's funny. These guys are trying to kill Israelis. They're more than willing, it's been proven, to kill their own citizens to make it look like Israelis. When you say aim better, you're talking about aiming into Israel. I find all of that highly offensive given the amount of money and resources that we give to that country and the fact that you've had Americans die in this whole process. Like, just not up for jokes right now when it comes to this.
So you mentioned money and resources. Joe Biden, on his trip to Israel, makes the statement and says all the right things at first. We stand with Israel. I'm here on your land during a war. The United States supports Israel. Oh, by the way, we're giving $100 million to the Gaza Strip, which is ran by Hamas.
Wow. Has anybody ever paused and thought, how are we giving them $100 million considering we don't have a House of Representatives right now? Does anybody stop and go, is the president that powerful that he can just hand somebody $100 million and say, wish you the best?
Oh, hell, the big guy launders that in a day,
I mean, it's like, I heard that and I was like, wait a second. We don't,
this doesn't have to be coming out of his own personal, it's coming out of Hunter's account, actually.
Hunter and the grandkids' accounts, yes.
But I mean, you're funding Hamas. And this is what we talked about on the air today. If the U.S. actually wanted to solve this thing, and the only way it gets solved is somebody wins and somebody loses, but they don't actually want to do that, they need to stand back and tell Israel, we have your back, we have our carriers are within striking distance, we support you, whatever you want to do, you go and have fun, and just stay the hell out of it. When you're talking about giving $100 million in humanitarian aid, it's not going to the orphans and mothers, it's going to Hamas. They're going to use it to build more rockets.
And you had a great point on your show earlier this morning, is that get ready for some civilian casualties, because it's going to happen. Because Kirby, that little weasel, Biden spokesman, said 0 casualties is the only thing that we'll accept. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, they just need to have. We just don't have honest conversations in this country anymore, and we try to be all things to all people. And the U.S. should just be honest with our people, and Israel should be honest with their people, and just be honest with the world and say they started this. They killed over 1,000 of our people.
Well, I think Israel is, though.
Well, yeah, and I guess maybe I mean being honest with us too as a collective or whatever. My point is, people are going to have to die. I mean, I know that sounds callous, but the reality is if you're going to fix this solution, innocent people are unfortunately going to have to die because you have to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth. And that means a lot of death and a lot of destruction. And unfortunately, it will involve innocent people, 100% innocent people dying. If you're not willing to do that, it is just like the speaker thing. Unless somebody's willing to shut the government down, you're not going to solve the spending.
Rob, you remember back in 2014, the United States was certainly willing to do it in Mosul to get rid of of ISIS. What they did to get rid of ISIS needs to be the exact same thing done, and that's what the Israelis are going to have to do in Gaza.
Absolutely, I agree, and we just don't have honest conversations, and then we have this president giving Hamas $100 million. It makes no sense.
Ugh.
The same people who chant death to America, the same people who, from what we've been told, have a number of American hostages, we're giving them $100 million and saying, I hope you don't use it for terror.
Yeah, and it really does make you look. Trump did a lot of egregious stuff during his presidency, but one area that he is probably the best, and I include Reagan in this, the best post-World War II president on foreign policy. His foreign policy was phenomenal. America's standing in the world was phenomenal. The strength of America without military involvement was phenomenal. Really, times like now really make you miss Donald Trump.
Something Nigel and I talked about the moment that attack happened at the concert that really got this war rolling, the Israelis slaughtered at the concert. We said on Monday when we came back on the air, there's a whole generation, a younger generation right now that has no idea what graphic war really looks like. And I think this is going to be a long war. Netanyahu's already said this is going to be a long war. They want to do this the right way. They want to wipe them off the face of the map. You're going to see hospitals explode. You're going to see children be used as human shields. This is going to be a really eye-opening experience for a lot of young people in this country.
And this is the way it always is. I mean, let's go back to 1945. Think about what Harry Truman struggled with when he decided to drop multiple atomic bombs on Japan. He had to weigh, do I send in, 1 million plus troops into the jungles of Japan and risk, potentially losing up, it would be way more than 1 million he'd send in, but potentially losing up to 1 million soldiers. And he said, I'm simply not doing that. And I realize this will cause mass death and destruction, but I have to do this in order to win this war and what's best for our country. Israel needs to just do that. Unfortunately, innocent people are going to die. And that is sadly just the way the world works right now.
Did Joe Biden's visit to Israel accomplish anything? Like, I know what they were trying to say. I know the message he was trying to exude, like telling, Lebanon and Hezbollah, hey, you better not try anything. Same with you in Iran. But does that actually work with a president who's weak? Just, he's kind of a doofus. I mean, like, you got a doofus up there. Does that messaging work?
I picture Iran being like that meme of Ralph Wiggum where he's on the bus waving and it says, Chuckles, I'm in danger. Like, no, of course not. Nobody fears Joe Biden. I mean, what's he said so far? Don't.
Yeah.
Don't what, Grandpa? Don't, or you will do what? There is nobody is worried about him or fears him.
Everything he has touched from a foreign policy standpoint has been an absolute train wreck.
Absolutely. And again, many of the weapons being used in these terrorist attacks were given to these terrorists by Biden's botched Afghanistan withdrawal.
Rob Kendall with us going off the rails. You mentioned the House of Representatives and the clown show, the circus trying to find a speaker. And Victoria Spartz, at first, she was a no on Jim Jordan. And then she was a yes on Jim Jordan. Where are you at, Rob, on Victoria Spartz?
Well, she should just do everyone a favor and quit because she's a disgrace.
Well, she threatened to quit, right?
Yeah, and then she threatened to run again. I'll show them. They'll have to primary me. Oh, boy. Woo.
I love when somebody has to threaten to run.
Look, this erratic behavior from her, from voting present on McCarthy 15 times to voting to save McCarthy despite spending 9 months bitching about McCarthy is weird, then voting for Jordan in the caucus and then against him on the floor. And then she's given multiple interviews with Tony where I've listened to them and I'm like, I have no idea what this lady's even saying. I mean, this lady she just needs to go. I mean, it's like clear you're miserable. You're all over the map. You're not serving your constituents effectively. Just go. Just quit. Just let somebody else do it.
Spartz aside, the whole process has been just an absolute clown show. And I said this earlier, Rob. Tell me if you agree or not. This isn't even really Republicans against Democrats anymore. It feels like this is the people against the establishment. That's what really this is coming down to.
100%. And that's why I'm fine if we go 6 months without a speaker, because I would love to see what happens if we went 6 months without a federal government in effect. Now, of course, the federal government would be in effect. A shutdown, as we all know, isn't like, oh, they stopped collecting. When they stop collecting taxes, I'll know the federal government is shut down. And most services stay open. But these people are so ridiculously irresponsible with how they disrespect your money and what goes into earning that money. And they're all, so many of them are just in it for themselves. They're in it for their own power. Some guy voted for John Boehner yesterday.
Right. It's a clown show. You're voting for Boehner. It's a clown show.
We're not having a serious conversation. If you like Jim Jordan, fine. If you don't, fine. But they have no plan. They're not willing to do the stuff necessary to solve the spending crisis. So to me, I'm just fine with no speaker because maybe that'll solve it by default.
All right. I want to take a little time out here, but when we come back, this may come as a shock to everybody, but you're fighting with town council people in Brownsburg.
Oh, man.
We'll talk about this aquatic center and what's going on. Rob Kendall going off the rails. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hey, what's up? It's Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel Show. And if you want to dig out of credit card debt, reach out to my friends at Loan Pronto, loanpronto.com. If you're tired of paying 27% interest on credit cards or personal loans, or maybe you just want to do some home remodeling around the house, take a look at Loan Pronto because they can get you $50,000 or $100,000 out right now. As a matter of fact, you can access about 90% of your home's value. And with Loan Pronto, they do the paperwork, and usually you can make this happen without an appraisal. So what are you waiting for? Get all the information at loanpronto.com or give them a call, 953-6525, 953-6525, 953-6525, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
After our investigation on Indianapolis Animal Care Services aired, our viewers asked us to dive deeper into animal welfare. Fox 59's Angela Ganote went searching for that answer.
Viewers and volunteers are frustrated that a proposed new animal care facility has not been built. Too many cats and dogs are being euthanized.
They don't focus enough on adoptions, they don't focus enough on rescues, and they just put whatever energy that they have into euthanizing dogs.
What we have today, from an animal care services standpoint, is simply shameful.
If Joe Hogsett was a good mayor, we'd have the new animal shelter he announced. Instead, an empty lot. If he cared, he'd have done the job after the cameras left. If Joe Hogsett was up to the job, whistleblowers' calls would have been answered. Instead, euthanasia. Joe Hogsett's had 8 years as mayor. You know about the crime and the roads and the overdoses. But it turns out Joe's failed them, too. It's time for a change.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Every dollar matters when it comes to Medicare coverage. When you enroll with MDY's Medicare, our low-cost plans give you access to over 27,000 in-network providers. $0 primary care copay with no deductibles, plus a generous OTC allowance. Call 833-248-3906 or go to mdwise.org/MDY's Medicare. Enroll by December 7th. MDY's Medicare is an HMO/HMO POS with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in MDY's Medicare depends on contract renewal.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Don't want the worry of maintaining your furnace or air conditioner? Join B&W's Premier Club today.
Go to B+W.com. B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Bear Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Yeah, Hammer, watch out for this. It's south of Geister, crash Fall Creek Road at Boy Scout, and then Fall Creek Road north. Northbound at 465 on the northwest side, stopped again. 86th Street up to 865. Southbound 65 to downtown, stop and go from MLK to Meridian Penn. Delay continues from the north split down to Washington. Eastbound at 70, stop and go from Tibbs Avenue to the south split in pockets of slow on the south side. Eastbound 465 beginning at Kentucky, past Man Road, and again from 31 over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
56 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back on the Hammer and Nigel show, we're going off the rails with Rob Kendall of the Kendall and Casey show every Monday through Friday, 9 to noon here at 93 WIBC. All right, talk to me about this aquatic center in Brownsburg.
Well, it's a real city of Atlantis, and they're building it next to the sewage plant. And
sounds cool to me.
Oh,
City
yeah,
of
because
Atlantis,
wouldn't you want to sit in your lazy river right next to the sewage plant, Nige? I mean, doesn't that sound like
smells great on a hot Brownsburg summer day?
Our town is genuinely run by some of the dumbest people alive. I mean, there's no possible way you could come up with that unless you were one of the dumbest people alive. So they've had this plan. We had a former town councilman on today who saw the stuff, who was there. They've had this plan for 2 years.
Didn't you used to feud with that guy that I heard on with you earlier this morning?
I seek the truth, Nige, and I'm willing to put past grievances aside if you agree with me on something. That's how it works on our show. You know that.
Okay.
It's like Ted Cruz working with Donald Trump after Donald Trump basically said his wife was ugly.
Remember when his dad killed Kennedy?
Right.
Okay. So it was you and Jessen.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
he
said.
saw the financials and he said they put it away for 2 years because it was so bad that they couldn't put it out there. And now they've come up with this plan that they're going to try to ram this aquatic center through before the end of the year because we're getting some good people on the council who they know will gum it up and actually ask questions and put it out to the community. So you've got these council members sprinting to get this. They say it's 18. I talked to a guy who does these sort of things, said no way they're doing it for less than 25. It's probably 30. This project that is going to be a financial disaster, and they're doing it in the most deceptive, least transparent way possible because you know when they scheduled the meeting, Hammer?
Last week?
With 1 week's notice.
And during fall break when half the damn town is out.
Wow. That took a lot out of you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, it's just the same crap with these guys. Every 2 weeks, I go to these meetings, and it's just, no, because I had a week's notice, and I have to go to a wedding tonight, which who has a wedding on a Thursday?
So they're going to pass all this crap tonight without you there.
Well, it's a public input session tonight, guys. It's a public input session. Now, what does that mean? We don't know. What's the design? We don't know. What's the financials?
We don't know because they've hit them for 2 damn years.
Where's the money coming from?
Boy, that would be a great question for someone to answer, Nigel. But just like everything else, we don't have any answers to anything.
I feel like that should be question one at the input session tonight. Where's the money coming from?
So what they're going to do is they're going to divide people. When you hear public input, what that means by this is the exact same thing the school corporation did during their failed referendum. They're going to have a presentation, and then they're going to divide people into groups so people can't hear each other's questions, so you can't hear how many people are against it, so they can have some bullcrap artist from the town, either an employee or a council member, spin whatever question you have or make you feel guilty about the question you ask. I'm already telling you how it's going to go. These people are just the worst of the worst, and if you are thinking about building a house in Brownsburg or buying a house in Brownsburg or taking a business to Brownsburg, don't, because the people who run the place hate you and just don't go to Brownsburg.
A good business that I want to give my money to is
Garage Doors of Indianapolis, who's not in Brownsburg.
He's off the rails. It's Rob Kendall. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkum, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on City Council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkum. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. And ensure development doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character.
Sue Finkum, the only candidate with the experience and vision to keep Carmel the best city in America, partnering with police to keep our community safe and ensuring responsible development to help our community thrive.
Together, let's keep Carmel on the path to success.
On November 7th, vote Sue Finkum for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkum Victory Committee.
Colorectal cancer rates are on the rise, especially in younger adults. The good news? It's one of the few cancers that can be prevented through screening. So we're keeping up, making some changes, and saving lives. Franciscan Health now offers colonoscopy screenings for adults aged 45 and up. No doctor referral needed. And they're covered at 100% by most insurance plans. Are you 45? Screen sooner. Schedule your colonoscopy at franciscanhealth.org/coloncare.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by Everwise Credit Union. Discover the financial solutions to control your money and your business at everwisecu.com. I'm Kate Sharon. Purdue University on Wednesday announced the launch of the Institute for Advanced System Integration and Packaging. The Institute will have a focus on research to more quickly design and build microelectronic systems to improve reliability and reduce costs. Ganesh Subbarayan, the James G. Dwyer Professor of Mechanical Engineering at Purdue, will serve as director of ASIP.
Purdue is one of the few, I would say very few, that have the ability to do advanced. We have research focus in advanced packaging, and this institute is really to highlight our capability.
The institute was announced as part of the 2023 Purdue Silicon Summit. Indiana University will play host next month to a conference known as Taylor Swift: The Conference Era, which will explore the pop star's cultural relevance and influence on a variety of topics. The conference, which already has more than 1,000 attendees registered, will take place November 3rd through 4th at the Buskirk-Chumley Theater near the IU Bloomington campus, with adjacent events on campus November 2nd and 5th. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
At Indiana University, your health is our higher purpose. You are the reason we break ground in medicine, the reason we develop life-changing research. You're the reason we fight diabetes, cancer, and Alzheimer's. Our mission is to create a better quality of life for you and people throughout our state. And as the leader of health in Indiana, when we have the will, we find the way. Learn more at iu.edu/healthimpact.
Indiana, Michigan.